I'm cool. I'm cool with waiting. Oh god.
Hold on. I gotta play the intro, everybody.
Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest Monster Truck Diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCD.
Hi!
What's up?
We are here.
How's everybody doing?
What's going on, everyone?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, Ryan's running a little bit late, so.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm here.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
not ready. I told you.
Hey, in there.
I'll be right back. I'll be right.
This is the
There he
music doubled. Look at that. That was amazing.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Phil, how you been?
No, not too bad. Well, I figured we'd just get live, get everybody in the room here. I know we're going to get yelled at because this is not our YouTube, but we are part of this podcast. This is episode number 15.
Yep.
So, yeah, make sure everybody's piling in the room here. This is going to be a fun one here tonight. We're going to go the distance. We're going to talk about all of 2009 Hot Wheels Monster Jam. Oh, we got a comment here. RJ, what are we wearing tonight?
I got a Be a Scout shirt on. Hang on.
Be a Scout crew shirt. That's a very rare crew shirt for a truck that really didn't ever run.
Yep. That's what we got.
Ryan is not missing. He's
here. He's backstage behind the curtain.
So don't leave, folks. He's coming. We're not going to start talking about toys until Ryan's here. So it's okay.
The leader is here. He's just not ready yet. He's got to make his grand entrance. We all know that.
We can edit this in post.
True.
Maybe.
Anyways.
But yeah, since we're waiting for Ryan, I guess we could talk about what's going on. I'm sure you've been following the Monster Jam OCD Instagram account and talking about the truck that's going to be released on the Superstore March 1st.
That's my job, Phil.
There he is.
My job. I told you
there he is.
But apparently we start before I even get in the chat now.
They were riding. They were coming towards me. I couldn't stop them.
It's all good.
He's leaving again.
No, I'm getting my water bottle. I don't have my charger. Jeez, Phil, come on.
Poor guy. Everybody, Phil did this.
So yeah,
it's been a rough day. This is just the.
So like I was saying, make sure you guys stay in tune to what Monster Jam OCD is posting as we get closer to the next Superstore exclusive. Always, keep an eye on all those. And make sure you pick up your Inverse stunt truck if you haven't already. I know they're still available and they're shipping. So make sure you jump on board for that.
I'm assuming I'll do the thing today, so I'll grab that now.
Yeah. How's your day going?
It's just another Monday. Never good.
Man, this is a Monday that's unlike any other because I started the show about 2 minutes too early.
Yeah, no, it's like totally backwards Mondays. That
I do a 13-minute delay.
We shouldn't be shocked by that at all.
Well, the best part is we hit live, and then it was like we were talking. It was like, oh wait, I have to play the intro. So for like the first 4 seconds, we're just babbling.
We weren't talking that much, Ryan. It's okay. You're good, bud.
It's fine. I just wanted to show our. I don't usually do this, but I want to show our viewers the sneak peek that I posted today because it is part of the body now. So let me just get that for you. Since we were a little late, I'll give you guys that. So where's the share button? Okay. Share screen. A little late, a little flustered here, but I'm getting there. So there we go. Okay. So there is our sneak peek for today of March 1st release on the Superstore. So if anyone thinks they can guess that, go ahead. But yeah, so people think it's Monster Energy. People think it's Jester. People think it's Gravedigger, Monster Jam Stunt Truck. What else do they think it is? Green Lantern, Tyrone the Terrible.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guesses. Tyrone
the Terrible? Heck yeah. All right.
COVID Crusher.
I think there's a lot of good guesses. I don't know if any of them are right. I mean, I don't know what they are either, but
someone thought it was Mohawk Warrior.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, I'm sure everyone will pick it up. Everybody always picks up all the exclusives. So,
well, I definitely have this one, everyone. I wouldn't. I swear, if Brian calls it a booger truck, and I told him not to do that. Those who say that, you'll pay in the future. Anyway, it's not a St. Patrick's Day truck either. It's not Biker Zombie. It's not Mountain Dew.
Why would you think that's Biker Zombie? I don't remember Biker Zombie.
Yeah, really, that's kind of weird.
Biker Zombie was an SUV truck now. If I had Red Zombie on my desk, I'd show it off, but I don't. It's in my other room.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about all of 2009 on this weird Monday. So here is 2009, starting off with a lot of repeats, like we did last.
That's why we made the executive decision. Like I know I said in 2007, we're gonna start breaking these up in halves. And then 2008, it's like, you know what, we're gonna do the whole thing. And then looking at 2009 again, it is a lot more interesting than 2008. But when you break it down, it could be done in one episode. So
I was actually, I keep seeing people say utter madness.
That would be
let's actually talk about 2009. We're talking about 2021.
Right here, number one.
Okay, so number one, we're just going to skip right through. We talked about it last time, and we're coming up. In a couple weeks, it'll be a month until Neil Vandenberg Day, but we talked about Captain's Curse and the whole story behind Neil and how he designed it super quick and got it all done and said, we'll get it done or whatever when they gave him such a huge workload. So he's awesome. There's Captain's Curse, number one. Number two is that same old Gravedigger. I think it's next year that we'll see the new finally.
Actually, no. At the end of we'll actually talk about the new one.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So we will talk about a new one tonight. Finally, we did see it with 25th anniversary though, that new artwork, but they still have yet to start doing it. At least at the beginning of the year for 2009. Blue Thunder, same stuff going on. Nothing new.
Not yet.
Money Hunter, same stuff going on. Nothing new.
Yeah, folks. The first 8 trucks are direct re-releases from the previous year. Captain's Curse being the first one. It's the sudden impacts on the screen here. Number 5. Next one's Pastrana 199. It's your crowd favorites for the most part. Captain's Curse was a big truck for 2008, so for that to be number 1 is smart. Gives everybody another chance to get it. There's Pastrana. There's nothing different here. Although this is the last year we get Pastrana 199. I think that we should mention that.
Cowboy.
So Cowboy, this is the last year we get Cowboy. So number
Taz.
7 and Taz, number 8.
Oh, look, finally using the actual truck on there.
Is that the last year we get Cowboy? Because the Spectacular Flame comes out sometime.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do. That's the last year we get standard Cowboy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Continue on.
Finally. So we're now 9 trucks in, nothing new, just a repaint of it. So this is our first Spectra Flame of the year. We talked about Spectra Flames a lot last episode, and it's super cool that they're still continuing on, and they will continue on for a year or so more after this. So here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Raphael with this nice Spectra Flame green, actually 2 tones of it, this tone here and this one here. One of the more popular ones, definitely the Spectra Flame series. And one of the more sought-after ones because TMNT holds a big price tag with their trucks. They're also using, which is a bad thing to use on a truck that does not look like the real truck, the real-life truck art. But, there's the TMNT Spectra Flame Raphael, so number 9 of 75. I'll let them talk about that a little bit if they want to while I read the comments on that stuff.
Well, you missed a big part here. This is the debut of what would be synonymous, the B-locks for the Spectra Flame line. The previous year was just the red trim around the rims. So you do see that in one case here this year, and I think 2 or more cases the next couple of years randomly. But this is a debut of the special beadlock, so that's really cool. Extra detail. It makes the Spectra Flames a lot more special. You do see the speed lock over the years on like the travel treads, and I might be going blind, but I think Hot Wheels Monster Trucks uses this for all their trucks now, right?
Yeah, pretty much. At least the outer rim, at least that outer bead, they definitely use the inner.
No, you guys are right. Use the Barbie that uses.
Yeah.
So
they've modified the inner part of the rim, but the same diamond plate on the outside still exists.
Right.
Well, thanks, Phil, for throwing another Barbie in my face. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I keep it on display. Yeah, this is actually really cool. The Ninja Turtle. This is one of my more personal favorites. Just I think that green's a good color to pop. It's like a darker green too. It's not like neon, so I like it.
Yeah, it's different green. It's different greens from the Avenger, or at least darker. It might be the same, but it's darker, probably, right?
Yeah, definitely darker. The Avenger was more like a lime green. It doesn't match either of these tones, so it's a new tone for sure for both.
I mean, this one's a good one. I like the beads. The bead, like Phil brought up, this was a drastic change from just the little pinstripe around the standard bead. This, was used in a lot of other things, but for this turtle, very, very nice first spectacular flame of the year.
Yeah, all right. So there is Spectra Flame, TMNT Raphael, and then we have the start of a really interesting series here. Brings back a lot of memories of elementary school for me because I would wear around these hooks. So these hooks trucks, they came, I think it was only this year. It came out 1 year, I believe. They didn't really last very long. They did modify the card to make it like a 3D bump, which I'm sure card.
Oh my gosh, my boy Slinger, you cannot mention me 12 times in your story. I'm sorry. But
you're so excited for everything, though.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
So this hook here, this little extension, I'm sure made some card collectors go crazy because anything like that gets easily damaged. But there's the hook's logo. Basically, the idea was it was just a plastic hook that you put on your pocket or your belt loop or your belt itself, I guess you would say, and then it hangs off with the truck. A very cool idea. Just, I don't think it was ever used that much by many people. I mean, I know Phil probably used it because he's like me, and I'm sure he sported around a couple trucks on his belt sometimes. I used to take around my custom trucks on my belt so people at elementary school didn't know if they were real or not. But yeah, they were fun. But Predator itself is not a new truck, by the way. It comes with, of course, repeat truck. Help to sell those repeat trucks out by using the new stuff. But the hooks were cool, but they just didn't last very long.
Doesn't the playset at the end of this year have a place to hook these on or something?
It does, yeah, and it'll become one of the most well-known playsets as well. And we'll talk about that soon. But yeah,
for
any personal experience with the hooks for both of our viewers and our two in here?
So I bought these. Or go ahead, RJ. I'm going to rant a little bit.
I was just gonna. Okay, yeah, mine's not that long. I still got these hanging in my garage. As Ryan knows, I got a bunch of stuff hanging in there. But these I still have, and the place I used them more on the place set to hang trucks or hang them around the house. But it was okay. Go ahead, Phil.
So, what a lot of people don't know. So, 2009 really starts the era where, Hot Wheels is being more involved with the community. So, very similar to what Ryan now does with Spin Master and the community involvement. Way back in the day, the old Monster Truck Collectors Forum, this is when the Hot Wheels team was they jumped in. Not really any of our inputs in the 2009 line. That's why we talk about 2010. It's 100% community input. But when they were in there talking about the story of hooks, I mean, man, whoever's idea was this should be fired. I'm just saying it right now.
What was the idea behind it?
A mundane idea. Okay, so the Hot Wheels design team was out at an event, and one of the designers noticed a kid was walking around a pit party with a monster truck, and one of the tires is in the kid's jeans pocket, that way, so the kid's not carrying it, but he gets to hold on to it. That's what inspired the hooks, so kids could hook it to their pants.
I mean, it has a purpose. It's not a big purpose.
You solved the one, that one kid that you caught in Anaheim walking around pit party. You solved his problem. I don't know. Is there really any other kid that was oh my gosh, I'm gonna walk around school with a monster truck hanging from my pants?
There was me.
The guy above you.
I did buy these and I hung them on my blinds in my room, but it was only because it was obligatory. There was nothing new. I think maybe there's one hook truck where there's one hook truck that we'll talk about tonight that you probably may or may not need it. But other than that, I'm sorry, I'm offending people, but just zoom in here. So I'm just going to grab this Jeff Gordon monster truck that's on my desk. The idea of this was for someone just to walk around with I'm wearing this looks ridiculous.
Ryan, go full screen on Phil.
Okay,
I'm wearing pants. Okay, this is insane.
There.
This is insane. This is insane. This. Somebody got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars because they saw some kid walking around like this with a truck hanging out of the pants. This is where the American tax dollars are going. Like this makes no sense.
Monday just keeps getting better.
Okay, like we make fun of like how the shocks like a spring. If I'm smacking the truck like this, it actually does something. But like, I'm sorry to OECD, the kid in Anaheim, D Dominator's cousin, or anybody else, because this is the dumbest idea. Now, the playset we'll talk about tonight is a much better application if it didn't already have hooks attached to it.
The playset makes. I mean, I guess hindsight, if the playset doesn't have the heat that it has with the truck that's in it, yeah, that's big F in the chat. But I mean, it's okay.
Okay. Anyway, that's the hook discussion. So hopefully we don't have to do it again as we head off into the.
Brian, it was cool that you took. It was cool that you took customs to school. I would have done that if I was good at customs, but I wasn't. So
they were just body swaps. It was my Speed Racer custom, if anyone remembers that. Here's Excalibur. That's definitely a rendering from Hot Wheels of the truck. We've already talked about this 3 times now, so we'll just skip right through that. We also talked about Black Stallion last episode, getting that revamp with the new decals that it had. Super cool. War Wizard. This is our first time, I believe, actually seen it with this new paint scheme. So I'll stop here.
This is a crowd pleaser. This is what number? I'm sorry, number 13. Out of 12 trucks, nothing's really new, except for the turtle Spectra Flame and a piece of plastic with Predator. This is great. If you guys want to talk about it more.
It's more accurate. I mean, they did it. Like I don't remember how tour accurate the Chrome hub one was, because I think it was pretty accurate. But this one completely perfect. I think. I mean, y'all can rant and talk about it, but it's pretty tour accurate to me. That's what I can remember.
Yeah. The only thing is the knife or the sword is in 3D, and they never got the rims like that perfect neon yellow. Which
even a silver chassis probably would have made this a little cooler.
Yeah, I don't know why they avoid silver roll cages so much. It's just like they don't do it. And on trucks that really needed it, they never did it. But yeah, I think if Spinware were to do this again, we'd probably definitely get the 3D modification. But besides that, the Hot Wheels one wasn't too bad at all. Anything on the roof that looks weird?
So yeah, what's weird is that they have like that third line that's on the tooling.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And
it's here.
I kind of don't now that I look at this, so folks, the roof has this like third line. It's part of the mold of War Wizard, and it goes right through the roof decal. Yeah, does the original War Wizard from only a couple years prior have that third line? Because I feel like it does.
Are we talking about the real life truck?
Yeah, because
I don't think the real life one does.
Because then why would the mold?
It's in here somewhere, right? That? War Wizard, where are you? What is it? 2006 that it debuts?
6 for sure.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, we get it right there in 05.
Well, definitely on this one, but the render's hard to see.
I'll just go to Google real quick, because that's what's kind of weird, where it's like they have to work around that, but that makes me think, like, is that even necessary to have that part of the mold? I will say, while looking this up, War Wizard would later have so many paint schemes over the years, but we never get any of them. This is the last.
The answer is yes. It had the third wing during its original scheme.
Oh, okay. So I'm not okay. I won't.
So it's just it's a case of Hot Wheels not remodifying a body, which they very, very rarely do.
Yeah, which has
been kind of spoiled.
War Wizard, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, we've been kind of spoiled with Spin Master, who, well, up until this year, were modifying bodies as they happened. Like, if they weren't correct, they'll do them again because I complain about it. So when it comes to Mattel and we look back at things, it's like, okay, that was just something they did, and it's something they still do. So yeah, I would never have expected them to modify this off. If it was the other company, it would probably be fixed by now if they even would have added that third wing. But for the most part, besides the third wing and the rim color and the roll cage color, which that's a lot of stuff, but in the 3D sword, it's a pretty fair.
But this rules. I mean, that's nitpicky stuff looking back how many years later. But this is a great truck, and one of the key ones for the year. I mean, there's so many that come later on, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the War Wizard update. We're going to see it again with another update to that scheme. It's a very minor thing that they update in a year, I think. So next up is Tilt Offs is still here. Okay. Tilt-Off's Destroyer, which I think we already saw. Wait, no, we saw Shock's Destroyer. So this is a new Tilt-Offs. For whatever reason, they're still continuing the Tilt-Offs. With that new Destroyer scheme, we did go into deep detail about last time we talked about it. So there's another edition of that Destroyer. That's a third one. I think we're going to get another one if I'm not mistaken. So there's Destroyer and then another Shocks truck, actually a new one. Monster Mutt. Phil and I have already ranted about this many times in the past as well.
Monster Mutt Shocks, yeah.
Yeah, Monster Mutt Shocks. So Monster Mutt's back again. And Full Bore is back again as well. Nothing new to this scheme. This is here still. That's there. Yeah, nothing new to this scheme. At least, yeah. Okay, the real truck is still using that body, so it's still not even accurate either. And then we get a return of TMNT Raphael in normal edition. So if you didn't want the Spectral Flame one, you want a normal one again, there's that option. I think we saw that last time as well. Phil's got to do the Donkey Kong face now because Donkey Kong's here. There we go.
Sir. Go.
So Donkey Kong is here once again. This year is not the update to the eyeballs like on the front windshield yet, or
Not
the
yet.
windshield. But it will get there. We'll get there next year. But yeah, it's got that little smile going on there as the real truck had a frown. Donkey Kong. Something I forgot to mention with Donkey Kong last episode is actually it has a black chassis. One of those rare instances where they do a different color chassis. So that's cool. So Donkey Kong now 2 years in a row. And another rare instance of Brian having a signed card, but there's the Instigator. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we're seeing this scheme, although we'll see it.
First Instigator.
Okay, so there. Oh, first Instigator. Okay, there we go. So Instigator, go ahead, Phil.
So Lionel Easler's Instigator here. Okay, over the years, this truck will become a peg warmer, but this is a very big deal truck for this time period. This is one of the rare cases where community involvement got in for 2009 before it's too late. Gray rims are back. This was a big deal. If you guys remember from the small wheels, almost everything was gray. Well, then when they went to big, everything was turned to chrome. And the discussion came up, a lot of the people like the gray rims because they're more authentic to the monster truck. You can probably count on your hand the amount of trucks in real life that run chrome rims. So why did they switch to chrome? I don't know if I mentioned this on other podcasts, but I will mention it here because this is where it was officially confirmed by someone from Mattel, where the chrome rims were put on the trucks because kids like shiny objects, and it was more visually appealing to kids. Kids like shiny. I know. Very interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that stat in and of itself, like there's like even a re-release Gravedigger on a gray rim would give you a purpose to get it. I mean, maybe unless you're a customizer, then you probably don't need it. But a normal person buying trucks, it's all it needs. But I mean, chrome's more flashy.
Yeah, and so which is fair, but for the gray. They reintroduced it here for 2009. You'll see it in a couple more of the new releases, and a couple other variants where they come in with the gray rims. Really great opportunity for customizers that don't want to trade the small wheels, but they want the gray. And as time goes on, you'll see more gray involved. And then now, in this current time frame, everything is all sorts of colors. There's grays, there's chromes, there's every color in the rainbow. So that idea is kind of gone. But if anybody was just wondering why everything was chrome all of a sudden, that's why. Kids like shiny, but here, Instigator, new truck, and it has gray rims. That's an A+ for everybody. But as time goes on, this does take more.
Yeah.
I mean, for the time it came out, it's perfect. And it's a big deal.
Exactly.
Big enough.
I just wanted to go ahead, RJ. I'm sorry. Your bell.
You need your bell.
Guys, that wasn't that important. I was just going to say.
You need your bell, RJ.
I was going to get it, and then we started the show without me getting it, so I'm sorry.
Started the show without me, actually.
That was I waited 15. You know what? Okay. The viewers won't lie.
Let me just explain real quick. The chrome thing, it's actually starting to get phased out in Spin Master because collectors preferred the gray stuff, so they wanted gray. They're going to get gray. So if you look at Mix 15's El Toro Loco, just as an example, because literally one of the last ones that they've done with chrome, this is the chrome chassis. Honestly, the chrome chassis was pretty cool because it's very minimal, but they have started to switch it to gray for quite literally everything you see now. So gray chassis galore. You wanted gray, you got gray. So
and Hot Wheels is not the same. I mean, Hot Wheels is pretty much all color at this point. So
yeah, but they're also still sticking with their chrome chassis. Well, there's the chrome chassis.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gray is getting faded out on Spin. So if you want chrome chassis, they're going to be on more exclusive things from now on, I guess. But yeah, that's a good discussion on the chrome stuff. That's true. The shiny objects theory. However, for collectors, it was definitely not the best thing to see every year with the chrome stuff. I know I was going to say that before Tyler actually added this comment. He removes his chrome off of his customs, so he's going to be happy about that. But yeah, the chrome should be used minimally, and I agree with that in most instances. But yeah, so they've for the first time done gray rims on something. I mean, not the first time, but like the first time in a long time done chrome or gray rims instead of chrome. And that's the Instigator. So good discussion there on the two things there. And then we have the Bars Leaks Eliminator. I feel like we've talked about this, but no, we talked about Cyborg.
Another new truck.
Yeah, this is a new one. So here's this. Go ahead, Phil.
So Bars Leak Eliminator. This is Annihilator or Crimson Crusher, whatever side of the moon this is. This is part of the Greg Adams team here. When you go back and think, a lot of people think this is a very random truck to see. It's actually not. I know the theories. This was discussed in length with one of my friends who's a big Eliminator fan. And Eliminator doesn't appear in the Monster Jam yearbook in 2009 or 8 or whatever, but it runs the entire season. It's just it was posted as Annihilator, and then when Greg Adams got on board with Bars Leak and Rizlone, like Jack Oberna. So actually, both Jack Oberna and Greg Adams for a good period of time were both running this sponsorship. That's why a lot of people think like, man, this is one always comes up where it's like Hot Wheels making a truck that never ran a Monster Jam. Well, it did. It just wasn't like in a yearbook. Obviously, never made TV, but it ran almost a whole season. So that's always an interesting misconception. But because of that, this isn't a very well-known truck. I mean, not to say that Annihilator is this World Finals noteworthy truck. Greg Adams is a veteran, but Eliminator never made it TV, and a lot of people now know the teammate truck Rizlone Defender, which never did receive a Hot Wheels toy. It did receive a toy, which I'm sure we'll talk about in some capacity one day, but never for Hot Wheels. This is a very interesting one. Nobody really expects it coming. This is really cool, and probably the poster child for the return of gray rims. Instigator gets like a couple runs over the years with Bars Leak. We get it next year in 2010, and then I don't think we see it ever again for Eliminator. But this is a pretty interesting one. Again, not one that we were really expecting, but nobody's going to complain when you get it.
I agree. No one's going to complain.
Yeah. I do recall it being a peg warmer, so maybe we did complain a little bit back then.
Well,
but
yeah.
Initially, was it about the gray?
Yeah. I mean, isn't the real truck using chrome?
Yeah,
that's another weird one. So anyone that
associates, this is the time they can use chrome and they don't.
Right, like Greg Adams' truck, like Charles Benz, Pitbull, Rambo, like those were all chrome, and then they used the gray. That's great logic for it. But that was kind of what the mindset was. New bland pickup trucks, we're going to put gray on them, make them stand out a little more. But
all right, so Eliminator, and now another Spectra Flame truck, another very, very popular one of the Spectra Flame fleet because it is Superman. So we have two, is that the second Spectra Flame this year? So two contracted trucks, TMNT and Superman with Spectra Flame. So we got the Spectra Flame blue on it. Comparing to a normal Superman, this is a pretty different color. Blue Thunder wasn't, but this one is. It's definitely a much stronger blue. It looks really good. It also has those new diamond plates on the rims, so that's really cool as well. And so Superman gets that update. Nothing new about the graphics or scheme. We will see something new on the cape in a year or two from now. But yeah, Superman's really cool with the Spectra Flame. So I'll let Phil and RJ take it from there.
No, good point. A+. Totally didn't realize the first two Spectra Flames of the year were both licensed trucks. So that's kudos on DC and what I think Mirror Productions or Images, whatever.
It's Fox.
Or Mirage, excuse me. Yeah, I said Mirror, like it's the Groth brothers. Mirage Studios and Foxbox and whatever. Signing up to have their trucks altered a little bit. It's really cool. Again, Superman's one of the defining ones and works perfect with the red studio. So go ahead, RJ.
I mean, if you didn't like the regular Superman, here's your point, or here's your truck to buy. The rims help it pop. The paint helps it because it needs it. It's the same truck, but yeah, this is the one that replaces your normal one on the Carpet League because it's shinier, which I guess kids like the shiny. So here we go to chrome again. But yeah, this one was a nice one.
Yeah. So there it is, Superman. Also, the first, I believe, Superman to have rims that aren't yellow. So there's an interesting thing. They could have done yellow with the red beadlock thing, but they went with chrome. So chrome's starting to appear more again. And we talked about this one last time as well with the pink scheme and all the stuff. Well, the pink scheme from real life and not the toy. But we talked about the debut of Stone Crusher, which will now become something you see almost every single year. So we'll talk about it again, I'm sure. And El Toro Loco.
We're going to go fast here. You got a couple reruns here. Your regular red El Toro with real imaging. That's one thing I will say, and I know we've kind of been highlighting it. For 2009, they really made a good point of putting pictures of the real truck when possible.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny because, like, the next year, we really don't see pictures of the trucks, except for very few. Then it's phased out completely by then. But kudos, and I know they did this for like the Rev Treads and the 124s that year too. So it's like they got somebody new in that department, and they realized what we've been yodeling about the last couple episodes, that they using real pictures of the trucks. So kudos there. But again, you get situations like this where you have that orange El Toro on the package, and that's definitely not orange El Toro Loco in the package. So
and it won't be for a long time to come. There's
El Toro Loco. Number 24 is the yellow Virginia Giant. It was a new truck at the end of 2008. And there it is again.
And
25. This feels like forever. We keep getting this truck.
Here's the real truck. Yeah, so that looks nothing.
Well, for some weird reason, I feel like this is the last Pouncer.
Is it?
It might be.
It might be. Yeah, so
it might be a blessing because Pouncer was not the most popular thing on the page.
That weird Hot Wheels tan color was not pleasing. The number 26, the Wild Shocker. Again, they didn't. No real picture of Shocker on this package, but to be fair, Shocker does not look like this in 2009. So, they're not going to go digging too far in archives to find something from a couple years back.
I think it's next year that we'll actually see the new scheme.
Yeah, next year Shocker's another one like War Wizard, has a lot of schemes, but we do get a new one next year.
And finally, a new one. This is actually one of my favorites of this time period, 2009, Shattered. So Shattered, here it is with the gray rims, which actually is pretty accurate to the real truck, so I'm glad they did it. So I'll let Phil take it away for the Shattered discussion while I show you the pictures.
Shattered's another one where it's like, I don't know too many people clamoring for a Shattered, but we get it. It's a teammate truck to Arachnophobia. Matt Powers is probably the main guy you're known for, or BJ Johnson, the many trucks that BJ Johnson has driven. No, folks, BJ Johnson existed before Mohawk Warrior. There's a shocking amount of people that don't realize BJ Johnson has been driving monster trucks for 20 years. But here's Shattered. The gray rims, they make sense for this. This is a very simple scheme. And Shattered gets a lot of love in 2009. It's kind of weird. It's the only year we get a Shattered, but Shattered gets a 124, and Shattered's part of like, what's the name of that line? It's like a mini Stomper series where the trucks have like a push button or you stomp on it.
Oh, the super launchers or whatever that was.
Something like that. And it has like all big name trucks and Shattered. It's really weird. Like Shattered gets a lot of love in 2009. I will say, before I throw it to RJ the Bell, if you can zoom into that hood to where it meets the rest of the body panel.
I can see it.
We've talked about this before with the many Gravedigger panels, the gray and blue. Yeah. The blues don't match here. Later technologies can get it done, but here, this is the biggest noticeable one. Where
an example of how modern technology on both companies works. They print with it's weird. It's like a weird technology, but it prints over a full surface instead of painting and then printing half of a surface. So
yeah,
just a lack of technology at the time.
And I will say, I see Levi Schoen's actually mentioning in the comments. Good point. It shows a Chevy body on the packaging with Ford tooling. Yeah, so Shattered is predominantly known as a Chevy. Teammate Arachnophobia is a Chevy. This is a good one, and I know we'll talk about it next year, especially with the Sudden Impact racing trucks. How they're not consistent with teams over the years and using the correct pickup molds. So, other than that, Shattered's one everybody bought.
Yeah, I mean, other than the body, because the body always messed with me growing up too, especially seeing on speed. You're like, that's a Chevy body. Why'd it come out with a Ford body? But other than that, it's spot on, and it was a truck I enjoyed. I wish I would have kept one in the package. Looking back on it now, since it's the only release, but it was a solid one. I'm glad I own it.
Yeah. All right. So there's Shattered. A cool release. I mean, I always like seeing independents, especially smaller ones like this that make it into Hot Wheels, and we don't really see now. So very cool that it got at least one-time release. So if you guys have one, you have a 1-year truck. This one, however, is not a 1-year truck. We're going to see this a lot.
Tropical
Thunder. Again, which we talked about.
2008 that clogs for a while.
Does retain the chrome rims, does not get those gray ones. So I think that's
another one that should have been on a Chevy body. Ford. So that's another weird one where, I mean, you can't think of it other way, but it's not accurate.
Yeah. Keeping with the repeats, we have Brutus again, same Brutus that we've seen for a long time. We'll see it change.
2 years.
2 years, yeah, 2011, but it won't be for a little while. Anger management also coming back.
So you would think that, like, with these re-releases from 2008, what they should have threw some gray rims on some of these.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the new ones, but like just also give collectors another reason to buy that anger management just because you put different rims. I know I did that stuff. Like when it was a different rim color, I bought it, but
yeah. Well, they still do that, and I mean, it's come out with every single truck now, but Hot Wheels was starting to do that at their later years in the last parts of the Monster Jam contract. So variations became more of a thing to help sell things. Finally, they decided to hop into that, but earlier years, I'm not going to see that at all. This one, this is the return, finally, but the sad return of this body, the return of the gray Max D. So there's Maximum Destruction on the packaging. However, it's nothing new. I mean, maybe the championship's been updated. No.
What's that say? 7?
3.
No, he's at 7 by this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way it's 3 times still. So yeah, this is nothing new. Maybe
a big deal. Maybe the logo changes. They don't have the little like teeth in the front, like the hook.
Oh yeah. So when they changed the plastic base, they did get rid of that weird hook thing to try to make it more accurate, but it did nothing to help the body, unfortunately. But also, this is a hook series truck, so if you want hooks and you want a plastic,
this is the one hook anybody would have bought. I know I was pumped to get this just to run over here because, again, for no one doesn't remember, we don't get a gray Max D, the proper Maximum Destruction, since 2005. 2006, we don't get any Maximum Destruction, and then the 2 years after, we get only red ones. So I wasn't even collecting in 2005. So when this came out, big deal for me. This is the one hook I actually wanted. Now, spoiler alert, we will get a regular gray Maximum Destruction at the end of the year, but a reason to buy hooks because this is a return of the proper Maximum Destruction. It was still Sans goofy body. This is important. And again, I've ranted a lot about the change. So if you want to go back, we talk about 2005 and probably all the other years since. But this is probably the one hook anybody would have bought just because you're new collectors and you don't have the proper world champion truck.
Yeah. That's about it. It's a silver XD. You wish they'd put the undercover body on it because they have the mold, and you're like, come on, guys, it's not that hard.
Looking at these hooks, they should have made these hooks different colors, man.
Yeah, they definitely
should. Weird orange. It's like creamsicle.
It's like they had leftover plastic from like a different toy line. They're just like holding into some hooks and stick them in the pockets.
I happen to have Mix 15's Max D on my desk just to show you guys like how far we've evolved with this truck since then. Yeah, it's like incredible. And also the gray rims that Dylan mentioned in the comments here. This truck is like one of the only trucks that should have had gray rims if they were going to do any limited run of gray rims. Never did receive gray rims during his lifetime with Mattel.
Pretty much get 2 of them this year, so missed opportunity.
Yeah, so there's the return of that, and then a brand new truck with the same body as Brutus, but that's okay because it is the teammate truck of Brutus, the Spike Unleashed. I always call it Spiked. I don't know why. Spike Unleashed. So there's the truck itself. This truck does go through some updates through the years. I think it's a new eyeball color, maybe a pink collar or something like that. So they never did those updates, but Spike is part of the Team Screem lineup, and it's nice to have it in the series. We'll also get the other teammate truck to both of the dog trucks, which is the Megabyte. Wait, is that right? Megabyte? I haven't seen that name in so long.
I know, you got it.
Megabyte. I was like Mega Rex, Megabyte. Okay, yeah, Megabyte. We'll get that later as well. So they do all the Team Scream dogs besides the updated spikes. So it's pretty cool to have this. I mean, I remember getting this one. My dad had surprised me with it, and I was like, I had no idea that was coming out. I always like getting updates to, or like continuations of a casting. So Monster Mutt Rottweiler was also one of those ones I was really excited to get. So Spike was definitely one I was super thrilled to find, and then same with Megabyte in the far future. So yeah, so Team Scream getting another truck on the fleet, and I'll let Phil take it over for that one.
Yeah, this is a thumbs up. I don't know if you mentioned the black frame, all black.
Oh no, it's another one with the black frame as well. So yeah, the black chassis there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a thumbs up, man. I remember when this came out, I did the old thing where it was like, oh, can you ask the back room and see if they have more in the back? Did it at Toys R Us a couple of times until I could find Spike. I don't recommend anyone doing that, by the way. I know people are diehards. I just think that's very peevy. But anywho, this is definitely a Truck of the Year nominee until we get some of the other big hitters later on in the year. But this is a A+ truck. It fits right in with Brutus. This is actually a lot better than Brutus because like Brutus has that weird blue frame and maybe not staying current with some of the updates. But Spike, this is a home run. As you mentioned, we don't get too many Spikes released now that I come and think about it, especially compared to Brutus. They pick up the Brutus baton real quick. I know we got a Spike next year, but I can't think of any. Did we get Spikes past 2010?
Yes, I think we get one more.
One more.
For sure. Yeah.
Which is weird. You really think they would exploit this body a little more. And again, with the mentions where they ran it with a pink collar and pink name, and then green collar, green name, and a couple of different even little like Lucas Oil logo changes, like make the Lucas Oil logo bigger or whatever. But nonetheless, this is definitely a truck you must have for 2009. And just random sidebar. There was another weird 2009 line. There was like they made these goofy 3D body. They were like for kids. They look like the Duplo. Look like they fit them like Duplo Legos. There was like an Toro Loco, a Bulldozer, a Monster Mud, a Dalmatian, and a Brutus and a Spike. I don't remember what the name of that line was either.
So I know I'm not supposed to bring this website in, but I can't download photos because my computer's full of storage or that has no storage. So here's the pink. It was for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So they did the pink logo, the pink collar, and a green eyeball. If we know Mattel, they tend to stay away from pink, so that could be a reason why they didn't do that. So Spike did get a pink update. It also got, as you can see, a green on green update. So green collar, green eye, green logo. Anything else? I think it runs the green collar with the pink logo at some point. So there's a couple very minor variations that they could have run with to change up the Spike. And then they also have the modern day orange that it ran for like one show or whatever. So it did go through updates, but this is the only one we ever did receive, which is the first edition of Spike.
Why is everyone saying Connects when I'm talking about Spike? They never made Spike and Connects. I'm talking about not Legos. That's very bad. Wrong. I'll find it and show it on the screen here. RJ, you have any comments on Spike?
Early Truck of the Year nominee or top 5. I mean, there's a lot. They backfill this, but not a lot. But there's a couple better ones. But this one, for carpet leagues, for accuracy, this was a thumbs up. Home run.
Yeah. Okay, so Spike, number 32.
Connects. I'm not talking about Connects. Okay.
Aftershock. So Aftershock, I believe last episode we saw with white rims as well. I think it'll get yellow rims at some point.
I don't remember. It's still the boring Aftershock. I think this is the new first time for the white for some weird reason.
Was it chrome rims?
I don't remember. And I don't think anybody cares to remember. That's the
There's that. There's American Guardian back again. Nothing new about it. So there's another chance to get that one. Funny thing is I actually got this one on Christmas, and I guess they didn't notice that they bought a super damaged one. So the whole axle was like bent, like round, like a U inside the packaging. And I was like, I can't do anything with this. So sad Christmas present that I actually needed. I needed the truck at the time, but it was broken. Here's Backdraft that we talked about last episode, a Hot Wheels redesign. They tried to do like an SUV rendering of it. I'm sure the group with that whole picture, like album of the weird renders, will have a field day with that one. Wrecking Crew is here again. Is that another render by Hot Wheels? It is. It's a weird.
Man,
it's on Devastator. Or it's on Destroyer.
Okay.
From World Finals 8, probably. I don't know the number, but
so there's Wrecking Crew Part 2. Same design as last time. It's Hot Wheels custom concept. The return of a normal destroyer, so another chance to get a normal one. And finally, a new Spectra Flame. So another Spectra Flame. Wait, no, it's not new. We had this last time.
This is the only re-release Spectra Flame, and you can tell because it has the old rim style on it. Just a random sidebar. I found one of these in the store with the body was off the truck, so pretty cool error. But
yeah. So what a disappointing re-release of a Spectra Flame. Bone Shaker. This is the first time we're seeing Bone Shaker appear. What is going on with that rendering? Okay, interesting rendering. But yeah, Bone Shaker. This is a truck that will never go away now. Especially now.
It really won't now. But yeah.
Yeah. So
what time, you know about that? Sorry, guys.
It's okay. At the time, we could have never known that this would become part of a real life fleet after Hot Wheels went rogue and did their own line. So this truck at the time is just like, really cool Hot Wheels car conversion. Actually fit the chassis, pretty decently. It didn't, get the windshield and driver feel the sight right, but it wasn't the worst conversion they've done. I'm looking at the Camaro, and I'm speaking about that. But yeah, it was a pretty cool one. Really cool paint scheme, I should say, actually, for the original release. So you can see the original slogan there, shaking things up, Bone Shaker. So this, again, will become the flagship truck of Mattel's Hot Wheels monster trucks in the future, or now we're living in. So there's Bone Shaker. It also has, if you see there, that curved roll cage that we talked about last time as well, to modify for flat bed bodies. So it is that new roll cage that's flat here and then curved here to fit these kinds of bodies. So I'll leave it at Bone Shaker for Phil to go in and take over the discussion.
Yeah, this is another one actually that comes from community involvement. This is like the big return of Hot Wheels Originals. This is the only one we get in 2009, and then it comes back swinging in 2010, and we slowly get them from afterwards. Surprising amount of people. This was a great effort to kind of bridge the Hot Wheels car collector with the Monster Jam collector, because Bone Shaker, man, it's got to be. There's a couple stands out, but got to be the most popular Hot Wheels car out there, at least the most collectible. There's so many versions where just collecting Bone Shaker has just become such an art. And this was a really big deal because for really the first time, the car collector was forced to buy a monster truck. Fast forward to like 2021, where that Hot Wheels monster trucks line, they use a lot of the car elements in there, so it gets a lot more blending. But this was a very big deal for back then. Basic scheme, obviously, when you compare it to the many Bone Shakers that we've seen in current time, but this is definitely a very sleek one. And even if you're not into like the originals, I think everybody bought a Bone Shaker just because it was so unique.
Yeah. This is the best looking one they've done, and they had to change it, probably whatever. But this one, definitely picked it up. Definitely liked their originals, and then seeing this come back was very cool too. It's probably the best Bone Shaker, like all put together, red frame. The decos. This one looks the best to me. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I do agree. I like this original scheme. Again, we are going to see it a lot, so prepare to see it many more times.
Yeah, okay. Go on to the next couple, and then I'm going to sidebar with that Spike toy again.
Okay. So there's Bone Shaker. By the way, I'm not sure if I don't think it's this year, but sometime coming up, there's going to be more Hot Wheels car conversions that actually don't make it to the public. One of them is a Cadillac. I forget the name of the car. And then one of them is Roger Dodger. I can't recall what years those were in, but if I don't mention it again in the future years, you know about it now. So Bone Shaker is one of very few that we're actually going to see converted. And the next up, a repeat, is Iron Outlaw. So another chance to get that one if you don't have it. We also have Batman, number 42 of 75, Batman. So there's that. So
before you get to the next set of trucks, because then it gets really weird with 20.
Oh gosh,
yeah. So see this Brutus on my cell phone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This thing looks.
Yeah. They
made a Spike that looks just like this. This is not Connects, okay? I'm not blind, but this is. I don't remember what these things were called. That's why I said they kind of run the Duplo, because you know how like Duplo for Legos are like really kid friendly, like they're big and bulky. Yeah. That's what these trucks kind of reminded me of, because they were just big and bulky and like really made for definitely the younger of the younger monster truck collector. So, and they made sounds and stuff. Gosh, man, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, I'm sorry to make fun of all the people that said Connect, but man, you got me fired up.
That's what I pictured. I knew exactly what you're talking about when you talked about them. I just didn't know what they were called either. So cool that you found a picture of them.
Okay, so we lost somebody.
Wait, did he leave?
Yeah.
Oh, or like I thought he just threw it over to you. That's not good.
I thought so too, and I looked down. I don't see him. Oh, they're called Rev and Roars. Okay, thank you to my buddy Brian Anger. They're called Rev and Roars. Okay, so while we wait for hopefully Ryan Albin to come back in here, usually he pulls off screen to focus on everybody, but he up and left. So, oh man, when you type in Rev and Roar on Google now, it shows all the Spin Master Rev and Roars because that's what they call their 143 line. Man, are you sure that's what they're called? Okay. A random sidebar here. Make sure if everybody's enjoying this, you like the button and yada yada. Oh, Anger lied to me. Oh, he unsent the message because he knew he was lying. All right. Where were you? Where are you at? Okay. I don't know where Ryan went.
Are you gonna have to screen share now?
Roar by fours. Okay, thank you to Cadence Case. They're called Roar by fours.
I don't think Ryan's been kidnapped by Hot Wheels. He may, but hopefully not.
Okay. So here's we'll sidebar because these are 2009 trucks. So here is that. Here's the bulldozer. It's look at the package. That's what I meant, guys. It's really it's super kid friendly. These things. This bulldozer's obnoxious. So there's bulldozer. Here's no, I got it. So then here's the monster mutt. Oh, OCD's back. What happened?
Yeah, there's the mutt with the ears up.
So Monday continues to be Monday. My other computer ran out of memory, so I couldn't keep running Google Chrome. So I'm on my other computer, so you can see it's a different angle here. I can't get my privacy thing to move all the way out. So here I am.
Found it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I right as you pulled. So when you pulled off screen, I thought you pulled off so I could show on my phone. And I realized you weren't in the room, so that's why I was like, oh.
Right.
So it worked out because then we deciphered the name. They're called Roar by Fours, and so I was just showing them all off on here. They are 2009 products, so they do fit to what we're talking about. So and then Tyler Ramirez, the thing's atrocious, like Monster Jam ornament atrocious. Okay, well. I want to go that far. They're different kind. Here's the Toro Loco one. Okay, they got such a big nose ring.
The big nose ring, yeah.
I don't see Dalmatian on here quite, but Dalmatian's out there as well. So yeah. So that's the Roar by Four discussion of tonight's program.
Okay, so then we'll continue on. I can just start screen sharing from this.
Yeah. So this is where the line gets really exciting, but in so many different capacities. First of all, yes, there's a number jump between 42 and 46. We're skipping numbers, and there's also two 46s. But this next truck here is actually there's a very big deal with this. So if Ryan wants to go ahead and get rolling here.
So Martial Law, right here with these blue rims. So if you guys know the history of rim colors in Hot Wheels Monster Jam days. Blue is a very, very rare rim to come across. So customizers were hunting these things down for them. Pink is also a very rare rim color because Scarlet Bandit Easter Beast, which we'll talk about this episode or sometime soon, is the only truck to ever have pink rims from Hot Wheels Monster Jam's time. So these blue rims were a specialty. And anyway, I'm sure that's not the reason why Phil's going to talk about it. But Martial Law. There's the rest of the truck. I'll let Phil talk about the real reason why he's going to talk about this, but that's my little intake there.
So first of all, Levi Shones will kill me if I don't say that this is the same scheme as Annihilator, because it is the same scheme as Annihilator, because when Greg Adams sold his truck to Paul Strong, and when Paul made the Martial Law, he just changed the name of the truck and kept everything. But that's not why. The big deal, 2009, and you'll see it in a couple trucks, this was another big community involvement. The Hot Wheels dropped sneak peeks of these three trucks, blue prominent trucks, Martial Law, Jurassic Attack, and the Air Force Afterburner. I'll just say it right now. When those cases came out, when those trucks came out, they were in the same case, so that's a big deal. Everyone went insane. Like, never really had 3 big heavy hitter trucks where it's like Martial Law, brand new hype up, and that blue Jurassic Attack, big deal, and then Air Force steals the show. Those are the only 3 trucks that were brand new in a case. That will like never happen today. Everything else is reruns, but it was so deserving. These trucks had so much hype. Unfortunately, Martial Law, I think as years go on, becomes a peg warmer. No, go figure, because Annihilator is a peg warmer. But that initial hype from Martial Law stole the show and really started to pedal Hot Wheels to the next level. It's getting into that crazy 2010. Big deal truck. Other than that, yeah, I mean, when you look back at years later, this isn't the most dynamic truck. The rim color is probably the most important part, as Ryan talked about. But man, the hype for Martial Law and those other trucks were real, big time.
Yeah, it's a truck that you get because you're like, okay, seen it on TV and it's new and it's an independent, and it also gives you it thickens the field at the local county fair carpet leagues too. It just you get yet another one for that. But I liked it. You know, it wasn't great. It's something to write home about, but I liked it.
Yeah, I also want to mention, I'm not sure. It looks like the rims to me, it could be dark navy blue, but it looks like they're black rims. So I'm surprised they actually went with blue rims here because, again, their history with doing blue rims. Also, the roll cage could have been silver. It could have maybe benefited from that on the pegs. But, you know, it does become a peg warmer unless you're a customizer. In that case, you probably grabbed a bunch of these for those blue hubs. But Martial Law, yeah, nice one to have. So 46 and then another. We're doing these weird number things again. Not sure what's going on here with Mattel. They were doing really good up to this point. So we get 4, and we go with 2 more. Monster Mutt Dalmatian here, now officially running the Monster Mutt Dalmatian logo on the card. Monster Mutt is running the regular red edition for some reason too. So this truck's been in service now for a long time. It also starts to become more of the mutt they choose to use over time. So that's this start here back in 2009. And then this is a new paint scheme for Jurassic Attack with the blue. So this one we'll see for a very long time with Mattel. So Phil, take it over.
Yep, another big deal truck. That blue Jurassic debuts in 2008 for sure, full season. Probably snuck into 2007 a little bit when you think about it. But yeah, big deal truck. This is the blue was really to signify Christy Edge becoming a full-time driver for Jurassic Attack. She wasn't in there very long, but I know that's what everybody really associates that blue with. Big deal, okay? Jurassic Attack is still popular. That's why, the new return of the Jurassic Attack for 2021 is a big deal for monster trucks right now. For this toy to come out was a big deal. It was part of that threesome in that case that just knocked it out of the park. And everything's to T here. We talk about the rim colors a lot, how they're changing the rims, but maybe not accurately pairing them. This is accurate. You see the white rims right there on the package. So, RJ, what do you say?
I say it's pretty tour accurate. It's pretty perfect, and it was pretty nice to have. And in this case, woof. Good stuff.
Yeah.
It was a big case, and I think that's why the numbers got screwed up, because they were like, just give them the same numbers. We're so excited. Like,
too much new stuff. Just put the same number. Yeah.
Put them out there.
Well, we're hopping back into the old stuff here with that return of red Maximum Destruction, using the normal Maximum Destruction logo and the normal Maximum Destruction monster truck here. So yeah, there's that chance to get.
That's not the last time we get the red in a single card like that. I mean, there's a couple other reds that come out this year, but
I just realized that the red one's the only one to actually just say 2006 Freestyle Champion. Just that. It's not even noting his other wins on there. Never even noticed that until now. So yeah, who knows? Who really knows what's going on back then? 48, another hook truck with the King Crunch. So there's King Crunch with that ugly orange plastic. Still using.
It was like a yellow orange. It wasn't completely orange. Don't be knocking my orange too much.
Well, I'm just saying it's like a creamsicle, basically.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, there's that. We won't see a black roll cage until 2011, which is a rare variation. So still running with that blue. Still running with this Thrasher as well. I don't think anything's new about it. No, I don't think anything's new about this one. So
Thrasher from 2008.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, hopping into one of the most popular trucks of all time, really, that people always ask for. And Phil and I had talked about this last time. The fact that they got the government to contract a toy was pretty crazy. So here it is. One of the variations. If you didn't know the variation, here's your knowledge of it. So this is called the blue variation. We'll show you what the variations are in a second. But this is the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. How they got this to be done is beyond me, but it was, again, one of the most popular trucks of all Monster Jam history, really, of modern Monster Jam history. People always ask for it to come back. It was a great-looking truck, too. I'm not going to knock it for anything. It's a really cool SUV, and it would look really good on Spin Master's tooling because it was one of the rare instances also where it had that kind of Escalade clip-looking thing. So here's the blue variation. So the variation, I believe, happens in these letters, these cross into the blue. So here is the purple variation. So the lettering is now purple. It's hard to see. I'm sorry. It's just not good photos from Brian. But the lettering is purple. And if you notice this like curve here turned to like almost like a pink gray. So that's darker. So if you were looking for variations of this, this is a lighter gray. It almost matches the body. And then the purple variation, which is the incorrect variation. So these probably were not produced as much as the blue one. Have that darker background and also the purple lettering. So little variation there. If you're interested in, or if you're an Air Force collector or anything like that, this one might be one you want to hunt down. Again, this is the rare variation of the purple because the blue one was what the truck looked like. And from there on, I'll let Phil take it over for the U.S. Air Force Afterburner.
So I want to talk about that variation, if you want to call it that, for a bit.
Yeah.
Do you personally have that in your collection, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't believe in it.
It's a real one. It's a real variation. I've seen it on eBay many times too.
I know it's borderline. Like I've ranted about variations over the years. This is the prime time where there was a very well-known collector in the hobby. We love him so much. Todd Lina, I'll name drop him. Where he was finding he had like 10 versions of Bardsley Eliminator because of the shade of red. It was very weird. Like I know I saw a collector the other day talk about the different yellows and Moon Eye Bone Shakers and the different palette of blacks. I don't believe in variations like that. Those are just so minuscule. Those aren't like intentional changes. Those are like just they're running out of ink in the cartridge. That doesn't make it a variation. This one's borderline that, although it has a little more legs. It's kind of like this year too, because like the old rule was like, oh, if there's more than in the collecting hobby, it was like if there's more than 2, that makes it a variation. Which I say nay, because this year has a very well-known error variation. It's popped up a lot. How many people found a backdraft in a Captain's Curse package? There's a lot of those from 2009. I know because I own like 3 of them. That doesn't make it an official variation. That sounds insane. Imagine having to explain to yourself that I have to include variation because there's more than 2 of them. That's my rant on variations, and I will stick to that, especially with these weird Spin Master variations that people still try to make excuses for in 2021 that are like that bad news with the purple and the outlines. I don't believe in that either. I think that's
they're confirmed variations from the team to me.
I disagree. I think somebody ran the wrong ink under the belts here. So with that being said, Air Force Afterburner, man, this what a run for Air Force here. Gets put in Monster Jam Urban Assault, gets the toy. Damon Bradshaw wins his world championship. I mean, this is all the gates are coming down for Air Force here. This is the Air Force of the Air Forces now. We finally get the toy. Great timing. I would argue maybe truck of the year, but there's a couple more heavy hitters that steal the show too. But this, just because it is a long fight. Imagine like getting Monster Energy after all these years. That's I know Monster Energy's ran a lot longer than Air Force now, but like that's the feeling. Like we finally got Air Force. That's like what it's gonna feel like if we ever get a Monster Energy one day. Like just know that feeling, okay? So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's a sponsored truck. It was you wanted it, I wanted it. I couldn't believe when it came out. I was like, okay, everybody, I want Afterburner. I need it. Christmas, birthday, whatever gift you want to give. That's what I want. It was a must-have and definitely arguable for truck of the year. Definitely in the top 4.
Oh, Nathan Smith sent me the card back of those Roar by 4s. These are just the goofiest looking renders I've ever seen.
Well, who's is Phil in control? I was going to say, do we want to take full screen?
I just saw someone, or the artist, Ivan, who posted Double Decker's original renderings. I was looking at it. Sorry.
Nice.
Stuff. I'll put those on Facebook after. Superman 50. So here it is again. Same Superman as usual. We got the Spectra Flame one earlier this episode. Obsession. Everyone lost their minds over it last year, but it's back again with the same scheme.
And starts to peg warm. And there's actually, let's take a pause here real quick. Did you know this truck was actually not supposed to come out in 2009?
I had no idea.
Rick Swanson will fight you on it because he says he signed an XYZ contract, but that was another one from the Mattel team, and this is where I'll break away real quick. Even though there's that weird number glitch, I don't know if anything weird in like the codes. And there was one unreleased truck that was actually supposed to be put in Obsession's place. It's a very interesting one. There was supposed to be a Jurassic Attack tilt-off. I don't know. I don't know what color scheme. I know. RJ, I'll send it to you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
I don't know if it was supposed to be because we do get the brown. Spoiler alert: we get a brown Jurassic Attack this year too. I don't know if it was supposed to be brown or blue. And it would have been kind of weird at the placement, having the blue Jurassic tilt off, like only a couple numbers and like a case after the blue Jurassic. That would have flooded Jurassic Attack, but they said tooling issues, which is understandable because Jurassic Attack with the headdress would have caused like a choking hazard probably, and the probably wouldn't even fit in package if you think about it. Well, no, because they changed the bases, but it probably would have been a weird one for packaging too. But yeah, that's one unreleased truck from 2009. That's 100% confirmed from Mattel. It was supposed to be a Jurassic Attack tilt-off.
Ooh, that's interesting. That would have, I mean, it wouldn't have changed a lot, but it would have gave you a Jurassic Attack that had a wild freestyle and, you know, had to fix the body on and all that fun stuff that the tilt-offs gave you. But yeah, interesting. Didn't know that.
But we get Obsession, which is kind of weird because you think, like, why would they not have Obsession the next year after its first release? But like, that was, for some reason, the plan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Obsession. Okay, next up, another Hooks truck. Sorry, Hooks truck. We never get hooked eventually, or unfortunately never. So Hooked or Hooks. My gosh. Okay, Hooks Suzuki. Back again. Trying to post that rendering. That's why I'm all mixed up. Hop into the newest truck, which is actually a truck that Phil.
Wow, all right.
Here it is, truck of the year, folks. At least for me, I'm a big Bob guy. Go ahead, Phil.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to finish. So Backwards Bob, one of the great failures of Mattel.
Well, okay, hang on.
Okay, now we're going to have to cut you off because
don't
be giving me no 2021 or 20 whatever year that truck's actually going to show up on my store's tinfoil hat because this truck rocks. This is 100% what was in the means for Hot Wheels back then. You should be clapping that they even put this thing backwards in the package.
No, I'm not going to clap for them putting it backwards in the packaging. What I would clap for if they would just take the time and budget to retool one truck at least.
This is 2009, and it's not even a popular truck.
2009, and yet.
Hang on, gentlemen, hang on. Okay, so OCD is going to say the Spin Master one's better. Duh, it is, clearly. But for this time, it was accurate. Or as accurate as you could get. They ain't going to do all that fun stuff for you.
You guys have no idea because you guys have.
You don't even know what I was going to complain about yet. Let me complain about it first. It wasn't even Phil decided to jump right into that. I was going to argue this, which I will later. But the thing I was going to argue first off, when I first saw this truck come out, which is a great truck, and yes, it's one of the best ones of 2009, is that I saw it on TV, and I'm like, where's the Monster Jam logo? It's one of the first trucks to never have a Monster Jam logo. And where are the taillights? So eventually they do go back and do those, which is this is going off accuracy on the body without even talking about being backwards or not. So yeah, the taillights, the Monster Jam logo, those are both missing pieces of the truck. But yeah, so the main concern that I had when I was getting this is that I knew it was run backwards in real life. I saw it on TV run backwards. It was one of my favorite trucks and still is one of my favorite trucks. So, you know, seeing the motor here, seeing the roll cage come down, seeing the driver facing this way, it was just like, packaging it backwards was cool, but then you see it all the time, which sucks, is that kids who see the motor in the back of the truck always display their Hot Wheels backwards Bobs forwards, and that was just cringy. So Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with this Backwards Bob because it was a great truck for its time. Awesome that they did it. I do enjoy Backwards Bob again to this day as a truck, as a retired truck, unfortunately. The Spin Master one is awesome in its own right, and it's a different company, different tooling, everything. But I feel like at least the decency could have been done by, and again, this was just, Mattel, maybe not even giving it a clear tailgate or any of that stuff. Just figuring a way out to make it backwards. And that was something I always talked about with my dad when we were collecting. He also was not a fan of this Backwards Bob. We were trying to figure a way to flip it around, but the way they had the tooling, we just couldn't do it without Mattel's way of doing things. So yeah, it's a great truck, and I'm not going to say that it was a horrible release. But as we see it throughout the years and continue to see it throughout the years, and as there's chances to retool it, it would have been nice. But yeah, Backwards Bob, it's cool. And there's the start of that fantasy tailgate that never seems to go away. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's not going to be like the worst thing. It is one of the failures. That's all I'll say that. But at the first release, I can't say that yet. But as it goes on in time, I will say that more. So okay, Phil, go ahead. You go ahead. Talk about your Backwards Bob.
Ryan's lying. This is the coolest truck that has ever come out.
To this time. He's
trying to ruin our childhoods. He wasn't even born when this truck came out. Like, who you fooling, man? Like, you couldn't even tell me who was president when this truck came out.
Obama.
Hey, this thing, I loved it, man, because this is in the limits. There's no way Hot Wheels was ever going to retool this. They're never going to retool the NEA for Doomsday, so especially to retool Backwards Bob is kind of loony. This is kind of interesting how they put this on like the tilt-off base. I guess, I don't know. I always thought that was weird because I think it would fit on the normal base. So I don't know why they did that here. That always kind of made me think. That's the one thing I'd complain about because I don't think they needed to do that. But, man, I remember going around town looking for this bad boy. Yeah. I was there when Backwards Bob debuted at the World Finals Encore in 2008. They just that Spitfire just came flying out of a box. Nobody knew what was going on. It was like, what are these? What are those? Like, it was crazy. I never got to see Backwards Bob run in an event. It was here in Phoenix in 2009 with Mike Wine. I didn't even go to that event. That bugs me. Backwards Bob is a love-hate truck. I mean, it's kind of popular in the lore of it, but not popular in like any other capacity. This truck does not compete past 2009 until like 2014 or 15, and then it's like gone again after that. So it's like a very strange concept, like of a truck where it's had a lot of love-hate over the years, and there's a lot of like people making decisions that aren't the biggest fan of Backwards Bob, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it lives so much better in a life with that Spin Master toy now where it's like it's okay to embrace Backwards Bob, but Backwards Bob is really like a black sheep truck. And but when this truck comes out, this toy, the crowd's going wild. This thing could have been upside down on a Jurassic Attack body. Everybody would have been so excited.
RJ, before you go, fun fact, actually, two things, but fun fact, Neil Vandenberg, the designer of this truck, that's his actual favorite truck that he's designed. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's one of his absolute favorites. So when Spin Master came along and said we want to do it backwards, he was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. So just saying, Neil Vandenberg, not me, prefers the Spin Master one over it. It was also one of the trucks that I was like ecstatic to see at the we had an All-Star Challenge Spin Master meeting, and Phil, you were there. So yeah, Tyler Ramirez was there too. So that's another fun fact. Phil, I think you know the story of who doesn't like this truck. And it's a true story, actually. Back it up with facts, because I know it's a true story. So it's not around for the reason that like the highest authority of Monster Jam doesn't like it. So unfortunately, we probably won't see it come back. However, it's been returning in different ways, like the 1/64 scale, the Steel Titans video game coming up has it. So hopefully, maybe one day we'll see it come back. But yeah, one of my favorite trucks.
The wrong way Rick still runs, folks. Yeah. If you need your backwards fix.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, RJ.
Man, this is my truck of the year. I think I still got to see what's left in this year. But at this time, yeah, you're not gonna get a mold. Yeah, you're not gonna get it right. At least I knew these things. So In the carpet leagues, it ran backwards the way it was supposed to, like it did on circuit. For what we had at the time, until Spin Master knocks it out of the park, it's all we have. So I was needing this truck. I love this truck. I'm a Bob guy. I hate that it's not that. I actually saw this one run in Oklahoma City too. I think 09. Which I'm very fortunate of because that's an arena show and it only ran for that year. I did see it again in Wichita Falls. I judged it actually. But anyways, love this truck. There's going to be conflict because the new one does just knock this completely out of the water. But at the time, this is all we got.
Can I say one more thing about Backwards Bob before we move on?
I don't know, Phil. Can we?
Yeah.
Which way is it going?
Man, I love debating with you because it's so much fun.
Go ahead.
I mean it with so much love. But no, just to ruin people's childhoods or further, this truck doesn't actually run backwards. They put the body on backwards to make it look like it's going backwards.
It's not the Hot Wheels version in real life. It's the real version in real life.
Yes, the real life monster truck. I don't care what you do with it on your carpet league. I'm just telling you how the science works. Like, man, that's the world's best backwards driver. Her rootin' tune, how's he doing it? He can't even see where he's going. Well, folks, they put the body on backwards and maybe the tires.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is a great fact. I forgot to mention it. I actually have it next to my zombies in my collection. Bari Musauer, this is his first truck he ever drove. What am I saying?
Yes, in Panama in 2009.
Yeah.
Good call.
So, that was fun. Also, yeah. So that's
a lot of folks throw. Oh, another fun fact, Backwards Bob. I'll look up the list of Backwards Bob drivers. I'm not going to read them all.
But you have it.
Fun fact about Backwards Bob is Backwards Bob's had 11 different drivers. None of them have been named Bob.
Yeah, that's surprising in itself. I'm looking for. Here it is. Okay. So we're not going to stop this discussion yet. I want to show actually something. Let me grab the link to it. So this is Savage One Customs, Tyler Ramirez. His Backwards Bob custom of the Hot Wheels version. Well, it's on a Spin Master chassis, but there's that body with a modified tailgate, modified windshield. So for those Hot Wheels loving fans, Tyler did do justice to that old edition of Backwards Bob by making it backward, or correctly done. With some nice details as well. So he did do that before Spin Master released theirs. So there's Tyler, who's also in the chat right now.
And no, Backwards Bell Hand did not exist. Backwards Bell Hand is a Photoshop made by Mad Rat, the legendary Mad Rat, when George Bellhand was announced to drive Backwards Bob overseas. But I know that edit's gone a long ways where people think it's real. And that was 2009 Photoshop, kids.
There's actually a good name for it. I mean, they could have really tossed George into that truck and used it as Backwards Bellhand. So it was a great Photoshop, though. That tricked me, too. But that's Tyler's Backwards Bob there. So really cool custom of the Hot Wheels version. So there's Backwards Bob as we kind of finish up.
I love Backwards Bob. Let's get the freight train rolling here.
Yeah. All right. So Backwards Bob. Now we're off to the race with some more repeats. Actually, never mind. Here we are. Finally, we've reached the pinnacle. The new tooling, finally, of Blue Thunder that doesn't last very long. But Blue Thunder's here on this new Ford tooling. You can see it's got the Ford emblem back, which they did remove from the other Ford tooling. Just an awesome truck. The extension of the roof. And this truck's about to be used for one of the most expensive and rare trucks of all time, so we're going to talk about that in a moment, too. So Blue Thunder, that new tooling. Phil, if we want to, I know we're running out of time. If you want to talk about it for a moment, go ahead.
I know, time's fine. Just, I love Backwards Bob. We don't need 10 minutes on it. But, yeah, man, this Blue Thunder was a big deal because it was like, even then, it's, pickup trucks are either on the Ford or the Chevy. That was it, or the Universal tool. Blue Thunder got away and got its own tool. This is cool. There's a lot of community feedback. Got this one rolling a little bit further. I will say the downside: we never got a Stone Crusher on this body. I think Stone Crusher was a fun one. We do get other trucks, whisper, that use the body, but this is a cool truck, man. I mean, I don't think this is anyone's favorite because we get so many Blue Thunders and the scheme never changes until
it's my favorite Blue Thunder. I have to say that. It's my favorite.
This is a lot of people's favorite here.
This thing on my carpet league, I had to get another one. I drove this thing in the ground just because of how tour accurate it was great. It had all the extensions you've been wanting on the cab. Oh, so great, so great.
According to the wiki, we'll put that in wiki. Man, that's not good. Someone needs to delete that off the wiki. Anyways, keep going.
True story though. It is. I know it is. I
believe that.
Typical.
Bill, believe me, I asked the guy himself. So anyway, there's Predator again. By the way, I think I already mentioned this, but yeah.
Predator has the same number as that Blue Thunder, by the way, 54.
Oh, okay. I forgot to mention this, but I'll mention it again as it comes to the next truck that uses the tooling. It's a very short-lived tooling. I think like 2 or 3 years and it's gone. So unfortunate because I'm sure it was very expensive.
It was 4 years, like soon after. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. But Bad News Travels Fast. We talked about last episode, getting that new orange. And this is our new variant. So
I went partial first.
Yeah, partial first. So because Brian does his in alphabetical order, that's why partial's second. But this one here, wait, where is the variation? I don't know what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Okay, I'll let you figure it
out. Okay, I see it now. Okay, so back to partial. So there's a couple of logos that we're going to see on the full graphics version that are not here. So there's going to be one here. I think it was it Phil? If you know, I just saw it too. I don't know. There's 3 logos that disappear on the partial graphics version. The rest of it's a normal Iron Warrior body that we saw last time. This is a Shocks, by the way. So for whatever reason, it's on the Shocks chassis. So that's the partial graphics, and now we'll hop into the full graphics where I get my cheat sheet and actually see the truck's logos. So K&N filters is one of them. Safety Clean is one of them. Oh, there's a 4th one. What is that? Miller? I can't read it. And I can never pronounce that. Phil, pronounce it for me. Makita?
Yeah, Makita Power Tools. Miller Welders was on there, and a Safety Clean logo.
Okay, so this is the full graphics version. I couldn't tell you which one's the more circulated one. I would assume.
I think they're actually both, which is kind of weird to say because one case had one and one had the other. I think that's how it worked.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, besides that, it's a very. We're not going to talk about it because it's already been discussed before. But it's
I will say just real quick, man. When the partial one was first. Then the full one came out. When the full one came out, a lot of people, and I know myself included, kind of went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because it was like it's not changing the hues of what was that one truck I was complaining about? The purple and blue. That's not like that's tinfoil hat variants. This was like a pure variant, and I remember a lot of people went and bought these and just kept them in package because they didn't know why they changed the graphics on them all of a sudden. I just add a couple sponsor logos. You will actually see a case like that with the Overkill Evolutions. They'll have 2 running changes and stuff, but by 2010 we get a different Iron Warrior paint scheme. So this change is even so more head scratching. So
okay, Iron Warrior, and then back again here, Maniac. This is a new one, yeah. So they took off
Don Frankish.
Don Frankish. I'm blanking on names here. Don Frankish's name off the top. Maybe a couple updates to the paint color. From like that blue to almost like a purple or more of an indigo, whatever. I'm sure Phil wanted to debate me on the color too. But Maniac, 58, Gunslinger is this
brand new paint scheme, folks. This is a big deal. This is when Hard Sock makes the World Finals in 2010 again or 11.
Mm-hmm.
One of those. Yeah.
Hot Wheels designs this scheme. The truck doesn't run this scheme until like 2010 because he makes the World Finals in 2010. World Finals in 2010, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't run in 2009. Hence, when you look at the picture of the package and even the logo on the package, it's all old Gunslinger. But Hot Wheels designed this. This came out in the same case as Backwards Bob. I remembered because it was always had to chase all these. This is a wild scheme, and you can definitely tell Hot Wheels has their hands all over it. So this is really cool.
Did the real truck have like names of other trucks or cities in Florida on the?
The real truck had the names of where Scott was performing on the bullet casings that year, and it was very much a tip of the hat because that last bullet said Las Vegas. That's why from the beginning of that 2010 season, people are like, "Is Scott Hartsock going back to the World Finals?" And it was always like a tease, but sure enough. Scott Hartsock was going back to World Finals. He didn't do very well, but it was really cool to see because Scott actually did have a pretty decent year in 2010. Yeah, one was his last stadium win too. So
if I recall correctly, the previous Gunslinger as well was designed by Hot Wheels too, right? With that cowboy.
Yeah. You're right.
So Hot Wheels is just designing the Gunslingers like there's no tomorrow. So Gunslinger, yeah, I agree with Tyler who said this is the best paint scheme for the truck. I do really enjoy that paint scheme. I do agree with it. Very fitting for the truck. And
the original has an argument, but that one's a very nice one too.
Yeah. So here's Boring Broker.
I feel like we've seen this already. So El Matador's back again.
El Matador. I don't mean the middle, but these are all reruns. Well, El Matador was new for 2009 or 8, but you know.
Yeah. I think Mattel also designed this one, and they finally started running the real truck here. Yeah. So there's that. Cool. And Spectra Flame. Okay, so new Spectra Flame. I believe it's a new one. It's also another licensed one, which is I think up to this point it's the only Spectra Flames we got are licensed ones. So whatever, but so a couple weird things with this one. One, they're using that new rendering of the truck, or is that a render or a real picture? I can't tell. It looks like a rendering to me, but real truck or not? Is that real? It looks so weird.
Yeah, I think it's real.
By this point, it has to be real because they're definitely running this scheme. But this truck has a backwards kind of way of doing things. They took off the 2007 championship. For whatever reason. And then it has the new Spectra Flame color, which is this, I call it the charcoal gray color. So it had the same one as Gravedigger. Besides that, it's not the most noticeable Spectra Flame. I mean, if you look at it from this far away, it does look like a normal truck for Batman. So, you know, of the Spectra Flame fleet, it was never my favorite one just because it looked a lot like a normal Batman, like Blue Thunder, looked like a normal Blue Thunder. But the way to notice, obviously, is the beadlocks. So I'll let Phil take it from there. But yeah, Batman, there it is.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of weird. This looks a lot different than the Gravedigger, just because of the blacks. But I like this better than Gravedigger. But again, the black Spectra Flames are always very interesting. They didn't pop as well.
I agree. I think. It's like the least coolest of this year, but it's still nice to have and see. So.
Yeah, so Batman, number 61. Number 62 is the return of a normal monster mutt. So did we see it earlier, or is that Shock's? It's Shock's version, I think. For whatever reason, they're using exactly. They're using the Monster Mutt Dalmatian logo still when they have a normal Monster Mutt logo. So just for those OCD people like I am, and Phil too, it just bothers you. So there's that. And then 2 times this year we see Avenger with a paint change. So here's this time.
This is the first version.
So this is the dark one. There's a ton of sponsors on there. It's definitely some new ones. I don't know which ones for like certain are new, but I know there's new ones in there. So it's covered in sponsors. And then the roof I think is also new. Lucas Oil there.
This is all new logo paint layout for the truck.
Yeah, so there's that. And by this time, the truck's actually using its full grill, so we're going to see this inaccurate body until the retirement of Hot Wheels Monster Jam, unfortunately. 1/24 scale will get some love, but we won't be talking about that probably.
So then here's your neon version.
Yeah.
So I guess I can take this over real quick. This neon version of Avenger for 2009 is very accurate because in 2008, I think runs the neon paint scheme at the World Finals, and then that neon color really becomes like primary for Avenger. This is hard to find in this 2009 packaging. People were hoarding these. This was kind of why the panic on that Iron Warrior set in, because it was like, what's happening? This Avenger was pure panic, and it was more of a prominent panic because it's Avenger's a more popular truck than Iron Warrior. I'm sorry, Trey Myers. And this is the one I think more people wanted. Yeah, Avenger was still kind of that pea green, but the Avenger that was especially running in 2009 at that point is more closer to this color Avenger. Now, people will rejoice. This becomes like the primary toy color for Avenger. In 2010, we get this with a Monster Duo, which I think a lot of people bought just because they could not find the neon in 2009. But if you're looking for this one, a package in 2009, this was hard to find. I think it's still hard to find. I could be going crazy, but
I don't know.
These should be still hard to find. Yeah, but this was definitely the cooler of the two.
I know I bought mine in a double because I couldn't find it in a single, so it was hard to find for me.
Yeah, everybody bought that double in 2010.
Yeah.
Was there a double in 2011? Just randomly looking for like logo variants.
I don't know. I have to step away for just a second. So, Phil, if you want to talk about Freedom Force one more time to our viewers about what happened to it. Also, there's the real life truck with the scheme. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Step out real quick. So, Freedom Force is back again with that weird hunk of plastic. We talked about Freedom Force in depth last episode of 2008. Last chance to get Freedom Force. So, it's another weird one. Weird independent to even get made to begin with. And then this is the last chance to get it with that hunk of plastic. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Freedom Force. I know, Ryan. This is actually the last hooks for the year. So, not much of a – again, not a big line. It was very much short-lived for what it was worth. So
the picture looks like it's either photoshopped or it's Minneapolis. Maybe I feel like he did a stadium, at least one.
He did. No, he did. He did Indianapolis. Jim Hospital.
It was Indy. I can just tell by the picture. It's stadium lighting on the dirt. So
he probably did Detroit too. I would imagine.
I remember him doing one, and I think Indy.
And maybe he did St. Louis, but I think Indianapolis was TV. That's why, or like inside Monster Jam, they showed it. Since we're before, all right, Ryan's back. That's it for Freedom Force. Let's power through the next couple. So number 65. If you notice me looking a different way, I'm looking at my desktop and I'm looking at the list too. Number 65 is Prowler Shocks. This is a rerun from the previous year.
Is it?
I think.
The white roll cage?
No, there wasn't white. I think. Don't we get a? We don't get a.
It was white, and this year with the Shocks, I think that changed.
But we don't get a Prowler Shocks in 2008.
No, we get a normal one. But just to
no, the one in 2008 was. Oh yeah, I guess it was white, wasn't it?
Yeah. I go to. Okay, RJ.
What?
RJ, when you watch back this part of the recording, you'll understand why we just give you the weirdest face ever.
Yes, it does kind of look like Aussie Predator. It's not Aussie Predator, folks.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Noises. We get a much better Prowler next year, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Prowler.
Nobody likes Shocks except for 2 people. I'm sorry. Rolling Thunder, new truck in 2008. Re-released in 2009. Scarlet Bandit, the crowd pleaser herself. Re-released from 2007. Still somewhere. Number 68, Screaming Demon as a tilt-off. Nobody asked for this.
No one asked for it.
Screaming Demon as a tilt-off now. This is the last tilt-off, folks. What a way to go.
This is one of my favorite paint schemes of all time, of all independents. The Torque Power Iron Outlaw. So there it is. They got out the same year that it ran the World Finals with this scheme, which was incredible. Oh, wait, right? No? Maybe last year? 2008. Sorry. Year after, but they still did it. And it never came back, I don't think, either after that.
So it ran 3 shows. It ran Houston TV. Well, that's where Craig won racing. That was a big deal. Ran World Finals, didn't last long. And actually ran at Firebird Raceway in Arizona. But I think it maybe ran one more year before. But anyways, yeah, it didn't last. It wasn't a long-time body at all. It was special with Quaker State.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I only knew of the one show it ran, which was obviously World Finals, and that was not a great show for the truck. So I figured I didn't know if they used it again or not, which is cool that they did. But this scheme is just, I love it. I don't know why I love it. I just love the gold. I love the update that it had, like the blue addition to it. Just something about it was just an awesome update. And the fact that they did it the year after and actually got it out as a toy for the fleet continuation was really cool. I also think I like it because the silver roll cage, which they use very sparingly, was nice to have it. So there's that.
Had a lot of details on grill printing on that hood, which was super awesome. And really don't see it a lot on these SUVs.
No, I don't think I ever see this type of grill printing again, actually.
Well, that's really cool. And folks, this becomes everybody's Escalade. Any amateur custom maker, this one's easy. You don't have to take bodies off and chassis swap. You just got to get a black Sharpie and just color. And you have yourself your Escalade. You have the silver frame. You have your spinners with the chrome rims. You just got to get yourself a black Sharpie, and you have Escalade. So not only did we get Air Force, we got Escalade with this Iron Outlaw Q Torque.
Are we good? I'm not blowing anybody's ears out, am
I? No.
Okay, yeah, I went back and heard that. My apologies, everybody listening with headphones. Yeah, this one was definitely an Escalade. After you got a couple, I took a silver Sharpie to like the bottom of the truck, body of the truck to resemble that chrome piece that Escalade had. But yeah, I liked it. I remember Craig winning in it. I have a couple of them. I still have one in the package hanging on the wall in the garage. So don't ask why it's out there. I have too much stuff. Continue on, guys.
Yeah, love the truck. We're ending the year pretty strong here.
Oh wow, we're almost
70. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, friend, Bulldozer. Okay, so Bulldozer back again. So it's one of the more accurate bulldozers, if I can really say that about it, because they're going to start giving it a gold tooth, which that never happened in real life, and it also has a black nose ring, which it also probably never had as well. It had like a blue. I don't have mine on my desk, but it had a blue one for the real life. You know, Mattel, there's a difference between the old technology and now. They didn't do the airbrushing really that great with it. So you can see like they did like one stripe there. That's about it. The real truck had a lot of airbrush detail. So yeah, Bulldozer wasn't always the most accurate. It was also really cool to have it though, with the gray rims. That's nice. The Bulldozer logo was never put on the tailgate either. But yeah, it's the first time we're seeing it for a considerable amount of time. I can't remember when the last time was. Phil, do you remember when that was?
Well, this is like, man. Well, obviously we have that weird fantasy one that comes out in 2006. This is the first time I get this Bulldozer on big rims, I think, unless there's like a weird, like 4-pack variation. We don't get this. We haven't seen this since like 2003, I think. Really? I know when I was collecting, this was a big deal to get this Bulldozer, especially with gray rims. This was like a lot of collectors were very excited about this because there was just a lot of good with this Bulldozer. Now, Bulldozer stops running in 2009, so it's very fitting. But this was a silent winner, especially for people that maybe just never had it because it's a long time since there's at least a proper Bulldozer.
I had to buy mine off the Superstore. I remember that because I couldn't find it, and it's Bulldozer. Everybody wants Bulldozer. We're finally getting it again this year, but I had to buy mine off the Superstore just because I wanted it. You know, it's Bulldozer.
Yeah, no, I can't hit on a Bulldozer because it's Bulldozer. So, Bulldozer. That was my life for the last 3 years.
Bulldozer.
Literally, people asking for Bulldozer for so long. So that was a truck that is going to be seared into my memory forever. Maximum Destruction is back again with a second time release of a Spectra Flame body, but this time it's the normal one. However, they did what they did to Monster Mutt Dalmatian for whatever reason. They did it on both chrome trucks, and they didn't add the white decal behind it, but they did it for the logos only. So it's like an invisible truck, which is cool, but like, you know, I mean, you get to see the Spectra Flame more. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I like the red one more, unfortunately, than this one because it had just more flair to it. But yeah, they kind of show you the chrome a little bit, but they also take away from the truck itself. I don't know. So Phil, go ahead.
You know, I misspoke earlier in the episode when that Hook one came out with the gray. I thought that this was a regular release. I forgot that this was Spectra Flame. So actually that was more of a reason to buy that Hook one because that's the only standard gray Maximum Destruction that really comes out like that for like the end of time because the next year's a mud truck and then by 2011 we have that new body. So, but yeah, you hit the nail with everything about the Spectra Flame. I liked it because it was a very unorthodox approach, but it was very strange.
Yeah. Same with the Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
I mean, I agree. It's strange. The decal, looking back on it with no white behind it, does kind of like, But, you know, if you want it, you want it. I got it. It was another Max D with the problem of not having the silver one for however many years and then not getting any in the 1 year. Yeah, pick it up. It's Maximum Destruction.
Yeah. So there's that, and there is the Jurassic Attack that we talked about, which is the same one that we had a couple times now, and same Devastator that we've had as well, unless they fix the roof, which they did not. So Devastator, another chance to get it.
Man, is this like the last Devastator we get until a little bit?
It might be, yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, so here we go. Finally, we're getting to the good stuff too. But a great thing, finally, is the Neil Vandenberg redraw of Gravedigger finally on the Hot Wheels truck.
Truck of the year. Here it is.
Awesome. Unfortunately, it's still using the old Gravedigger logo, but you know what? I'll give it a pass. This is the first Gravedigger, except for the 25th anniversary, that had the new artwork, and it looks so good. Because Neil redid all the artwork for it. They're no longer using the pictures of the truck with the mud on the side or whatever. So yeah, this was just awesome. Of course, it didn't have Fred headlights for the first release, but yeah, this is the first one. Here's the 3-time champion on the roof, and yeah, it was just such a refreshing thing to see. So Phil, if you want to start that discussion, go ahead.
Yeah, you got it. Gravedigger just kind of gets, mundane here, but this is like the digger design we get until they redo that tool, and it's so much needed. It's really cool to see. I don't know why we couldn't get this in the earlier part of the year, just I guess the way they're planning it, and why this wasn't even done years prior. But making up for lost time, this is a win for collectors. I'm sure any kid on the street may or may not have picked this up and just blended it with the other diggers. But needless to say, great job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this one was arguably my truck of the year because I'm a digger fan. So, of course, I was like, can we get a roof deco? Can we get the updated graphics? And here it is. Yes, it doesn't have headlights, but I got a lot of these. You gotta refresh the whole digger fleet. Other than maybe like 12, you could use an old one for just cause. But Gary didn't roll it very often. But these. This one I loved. I loved it. I mean, the flames are really bad looking back on it, but for the time you didn't care. You have the new updated graphics on the door and the side. It didn't matter. And the roof.
What, Phil?
What?
Why do you get so close?
Making sure everyone's paying attention.
Okay. What else about this? This is like the last huge major Gravedigger update that you're going to see until 2016. So, enjoy it while it's new and fresh and everyone likes it because it will eventually become a peg warmer. But yeah, also, I mean, the other major update would be a 4-time championship. But yeah, until the 30th anniversary, this is going to be the standard for now, which is great because I like that update. But the last new truck, something that debuted next to Backwards One, Dragon's Breath, which of course it was not called Dragon's Breath when it debuted, but I'll let Phil explain that in a moment. This is the Dragon's Breath on that new tooling. So a one-off tooling, they never use it again. Besides one more couple Dragon's Breath, but that's about it. They never do anything else with it. But yeah, Dragon's Breath, the precursor to Dragon, another Neil Vandenberg original there. So there it is. Phil, please tell us why Spitfire is no longer Spitfire.
Man, I tell you, this is so rad. I love this. It came out with Backwards Bob in those boxes, but Spitfire rolled over pretty darn quick. Only time I ever saw Gary Porter drive a truck, or no, I saw him in that Digger Encore too. But yeah, Gary Porter was the one that drove Spitfire. Spitfire name, copyright issues, all sorts of places. I don't know who's the culprit. I don't remember if it was a skateboard company or something, because then the name was changed when it appeared in Monster Jam Urban Assault to Spitfire Monster Truck. That didn't fly either. And so by the time the toy came out, it was changed to Dragon's Breath. Now, here's the thing. Dragon's Breath does not run again until 2011 when it's Becky McDonough's first full season. She's driving Dragon's Breath. And then the truck disappears again, I think. If I remember correctly. I'm getting old, folks. It disappears again. And then Scott Lidico runs it for a season. Or two. Then it was supposed to be one season, and then Dragon wasn't ready, so then it ran as Dragon's Breath again, and then they just took the rest of Dragon's Breath and remolded it as Dragon. Toy-wise, this thing is 100% T. This is probably the truck of the year for everybody. This rules in so many ways. I even have a 124 of this truck. It sits in the guest bedroom. If any guest comes over, that's part of the decorations. No devastation. We never get this tool with a Vet King in any.
Dude, I was about to bring that up.
Horrible missed opportunity. I know we'll talk about that TMNT that comes out so many moons later. This is even worse. We don't even get a sniff of a Vet King on this tool, which is a stinky, easy layup. and maybe one to shake head. I tell you, if Spin Master ever gets a chance to tackle Dragon's Breath with this body, I would hope Vet King is also on their list. That way they can get 2 uses out of 1 mold.
Well, is Vet King, I can't remember. Is Vet King
oh no, Vet King may or may not be a Hot Wheels thing.
I think it is.
So,
which makes this
about that. Yeah.
Which makes this even more disappointing because
especially next year when you see all the stuff we get in 2010. This was on my list of why don't we have a Vet King? Dang it!
I'm really tired. If you have homework to do, Joe, go do the homework, brother.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, were you done, RJ? I wasn't paying attention.
Well, it's a top 3 truck of the year, no doubt.
Yeah, and we will see it again. Like Phil said, it comes back and back again in real life, and then we'll come back in Hot Wheels. We'll eventually get chrome rims, so variation collectors. But yeah, Dragon's Breath, not a bad truck at all. Again, this truck, this exact tooling was going to get modified heavily, but it's going to be the same basic tooling for Dragon that you'll see in a few years. So
that's the truck.
And now here we go. Here's the big boys.
All right, that's the end of the main line. Now here comes the fun bunch.
Yeah, so this was going to be part 2, but we're just going to rush through it all and brave the storm. So this one, oh boy, this is World Finals 10, and this is the start of a never-ending yearly thing until, of course, this year now, COVID-19. But World Finals 10, it's the first ever die-cast like souvenir truck, commemorative truck as they call it. So they kind of, as they usually do, and I totally understand the point of like doing 1,000. They didn't know how people were going to react to these. Like, you know, they're priced up a bit. I think probably $10 for this at the time, which is chump change compared to its current value. But $10, and it's like, you know, are people going to want to buy it? So they limit it to 1,000, which, if I recall correctly, there's no other public exclusive that's 1,000 after this one, besides the Toy Fair things, but those aren't public. So World Finals 10, man, it's a truck that lives on in history. It is one of the rarest trucks. It is one of the most expensive trucks. It is one of the coolest trucks. I love this paint scheme, and people. Oftentimes, I don't see it on many people's top lists of the 120 or the 124. Sorry, the World Finals trucks. I don't know why 124 was in my mind, but yeah, this one is yeah, it's just like so cool. And the coolest part about it is if you look right there, they actually painted in the Ford logo for this truck, and this will also be done on the next World Finals truck next time, World Finals 11. So they get that Ford logo super tiny, but it's read out with the Ford emblem. And yeah, it has like these cards. It's 2000, 2009, obviously 10 years of World Finals. It was a big celebration. This honestly, it probably because of the reaction to this truck, they continue to do them. This could have been a one-off, like one-time deal, like a World Finals 10 celebration. You know, it's the 10th World Finals, this whole thing. So, you know, it could have at one time been just a one-time plan, but it's so awesome. So there's the back there, March 27, 28, 2009. You can see there, Las Vegas on the cards, Nevada. And there's the roof there. And then the back here has the story of World Finals and how this truck came to be. I think actually, yeah, so it talks about the 10th annual World Finals will not be reproduced. So yeah, it's talking about how they're doing it for that event. So I think due to demand, they made it more often with the next year. But, you know, this could have been a one-time deal if it didn't sell well, but it did sell very well. One more thing I want to mention before Phil takes it over. Current value for this truck's about, it ranges from 500, I think that's like the limit, minimum, to maybe 750 if you're really stretching it, but that's a lot of money for a truck. So anyway, Phil, add anything you want to that, but this is
yeah. I mean, you know, personal note, I joined the Monster Truck Collectors Forum as a member in April of 2009. I say that because I had the awareness to be snooping the forum before then, before I started my journey to where it brings me today in front of all you people. But I knew that this truck was coming. Thank gosh I knew that, because first thing we got through the gates on Double Down Day on Friday, we went to the merch tent. It wasn't like previous year, like years later, where there used to be that tent up by the stadium that sold them, and then the other tents, and there was only 1,000. It was a mad rush to get these trucks. I remember my dad was in line there. Actually, the guy like 2 rows back, and he says, "Hey, buddy, I don't think I'm going to make it. Here's $10. Get me a truck if you can." Those trucks sold out in 15 minutes. Wow. They were a double down day. So by the time the general public came on Saturday, there was no trucks. That was 15 minutes. So
I actually didn't know that story. That's crazy.
It was life or death. Either you got the toy truck or you ran to Dennis Anderson's autograph line. It was a very tough decision. I made the right decision, and thank gosh my dad told me never to open it. Thank goodness, Dad. I opened everything. If you guys know, if you go back to the part 2 of 2007, you know that they actually did a Gravedigger 25th anniversary. That was an exclusive. But we talked about that at length then. Nothing to the level of this. And this was the first time anybody saw this tooling. That Blue Thunder came out after this truck. So this was the first time the public even got to see this tooling. And the detail was very important for the time, just a little grill stuff and, even little things today that are taken for granted. For those nostalgic purposes and just being the first one, this is my favorite. I think often duplicated, never, imitated off the whatever that saying is. I love this truck. It's a very bright blue. It's a prominent blue. Somebody said it looks like McGruff. I totally agree. I think I did think about that when I was a kid. I actually now have 2. I got one on a trade with Kevin Soulages many years ago. But I keep that one like in a locksmith.
that name will come up in just a second here with my discussion. So
Kevin, y'all can go. I never had this truck. I wanted it. I got the next year's truck from the Superstore, but I never got this.
Yeah, I mean, this was a lot of, if you knew, you knew. They announced it online real quietly in the forum. They talked about it. Like, guys, social media wasn't really a big thing back then. I mean, maybe somebody was talking about it on MySpace. There was no Instagram. There wasn't an OCD doing an Instagram live. It was just a Hot Wheels guy on a message board saying, hey, we made these. Good luck.
Yeah.
There's your quote you needed. Thanks to Tyler.
That was the thing, because they sold out 15 minutes. There were so many people that never got them, and the World Finals was selling out the Sandboy Same at the time. So the next year they made 2,500, and they sold out, I think, by the end of Friday either way, or maybe some made it the Saturday, I'm sure, like a couple. But as time went on, maybe less people were buying them. That's why more and more were left over. Then some of them would pop up on the Superstore, and then they upped it. They just kind of, I think they were upping it, but they weren't publishing the right number on the package. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But these were 100%, 1,000 units, and that's why they're a big deal. I say that because I don't want to quote nobody, but I think the rumor mill was like some of those later Hot Wheels World Final releases, the number on the package wasn't exactly the number that they produced. Just because they knew the demand of people, but then the problem was with demand or the supply, the demand went away.
I do want to just real quickly, this is a crazy thing. I think Brian maybe showed it when he was here on our podcast. Brian somehow has prototypes, or a prototype, I think one of them, of that truck, which makes it even crazier. There it is, World Finals 10 prototype. Number 1 of the prototypes. So that's even crazier. It's right there on the windshield. There's that prototype of World Finals 10 before it was produced. So Brian,
is there anything different on this? I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Just looks like a really clean version. Like they did really clean grill printing. Some of them are a little messy, but yeah, that's usually a prototype thing. So prototype World Finals X, which is even rarer than a World Finals X. But that truck is just great. I love it. Like Phil said, it's not my favorite. It's my second favorite, and there's going to be one in World Finals 16 that's my favorite, but it's definitely my second favorite. There's no way it's not. Now we have this one. So, wow.
So what's on the screen?
This one. This story is interesting. So these actually were once owned by me.
Skatezoid.
These Skatezoid. Hello, Skatezoid. West 49 skate shops in Canada. First basic thing is they're Canadian exclusive. One of the rarest, or one of the 3 rarest of the 3 trucks ever. Up to this point, we've seen them more often now because like the social media aspect of things has grown and like swap meets and stuff. But back in like the no man's land days when eBay was our only source, and before Instagram and before like the Facebook group took off, there wasn't really many ways to get these. Less did people actually know about them. So at the time, maybe 2015, I first found out about Skatezoid, and my intention was never to hunt them down. because I had heard from the sources at the time that they were like the rarest thing in the world and they're only Canadian exclusive. And you'll never find all three. And if I collect something, I like to have everything of the set. So if I found one, I would always want the other two. And I was like, I'm not going to get into that headache. So in my original collecting state, I like exiled these. They were like never going to happen. Then in 2018, Kevin Sully, or how do you pronounce it? I always never Sulligis. Kevin came along, and he's in the collecting game a little bit, but more so Kings of Crunch, Greenlight stuff. So he had these three in the card, and at the time he had just messaged me on Instagram to show me, like, to prove that he had them because I didn't believe him. And he had quoted their quote, the famous quote. He said, "I'll never sell these." And then a couple months later, he's like, "I need to sell these," and I'm like, "Okay, how much you want for him?" I think he wanted $8,000. I'm like, I don't have $8,000. Eventually tossed him on eBay, and every other week they'd lower the price by $1,000. Eventually we came to a deal. I told him to take him off eBay. I told him I'm going to work a deal around. I had to move a lot of money around and borrow money from so many family members. But we eventually cut a deal, which he doesn't want public, so I'll just leave it there. But it was under that original mark of price. And then so he sent them to me. It was like a handshake deal. I never met Kevin in real life. It was like the craziest deal with this much money on the line. I got them. I did the review of them. I never opened them. I obviously did float the idea of opening them. But then the brilliant idea came to mind for Brian Patton's website, because at the time, he didn't have them in the card. So I approached him. I said, "Hey, Brian, I have these three. I want to cut a deal with you on them, 3 for 3 plus cash on your side." Brian took that offer. I came pretty close to even in terms of value. I won't say what the values were in terms of the cash that he gave me, but we cut it. He cut it the deal, 3 for 3. So he gave me the 3 loose ones, so I didn't open those, and then he got the 3 in the card. So these ones are the ones that I sent him from Kevin. So Kevin's original 3. So the story goes that way. So it was like a handshake deal, then another handshake deal, because I didn't know Brian too well. I met him in person before that, but like still didn't know him super well. So both of these guys could have scammed me, but they both didn't. So it's like honorable that they both didn't do that. But yeah, so that's how I came to get Skatezoid. Eventually Brian Patton and I cut a deal, and now Brian has these, but he's retired. So I know Kevin wants them back, so maybe he'll cut a deal with Kevin again, and they'll return to the owner. It's like the cycle of life with Skatezoids. But yeah, I do have those loose ones, which are much better, because I really didn't want to open these, but I was getting to that point, like, I open everything. So
you would have been thrown out of the community had you done that.
Yeah. So, well, we've never seen a Skatezoid in a box. So here is the Skatezoid number 1. This is the blue one. Of the fleet, this is the most common for whatever reason. So here's the blue. As far as like what the name means, Zoid has something to do with video games. I can't remember what it is. It's like a term with video games. So that explains the 8-bit style artwork, like the skateboard guy, like the classic, what is this video game? I'm blanking today, Monday. Something there. And then these weird guys around in like circuit board style. So it's pretty cool. The scheme, you know, it makes no sense unless you know that Zoid means something like a video game. There's West 49, which is the skate company right there, west49.com. And there's the front grill. It did do a nice grill printing layout for all of these. And there's the roof there. Before I let Phil take over, I just want to show you the other 3 or other 2 designs, and then I'll let them discuss. So the green one also, the green one's actually the rarest one that to find. So green's always that one that people are, if they have the 2, they're looking for green usually. So green. And then the second most common, if you can even call it that, is yellow, which is not my favorite one. I'm sure Phil probably would say this is his favorite because he loves loud colors. But
these are all loud, so
yeah, these were all loud. But I did, out of all the 3, if you guys ask my personal opinion, I'll ask everyone else's theirs. Green's my favorite, probably because it's most rare. But anyway, from here on, I'll let Phil take it over on how these came to be and all the things he knew at the time, and then RJ can talk about his.
Man, this one still makes me go a little stir crazy. Even today. So West 49 is a skate company. You mentioned it. They're the clothing retailer up in Canada. They were sponsoring Canadian Monster Jam events that year, and for however reason, they struck a deal with Hot Wheels to have these exclusive trucks made. Here was the deal with these trucks. You had to spend $20 on used children's clothing in a West 49 store. to get one of these trucks. So it's at least a $60, a Canadian dollar, I should say, Canadian dollars, 60 Canadian dollars to get the 3 trucks. They were not selling these trucks. They would not sell these trucks. You had to buy at least $20 worth of used kids' clothing to get these trucks. The number, Hot Wheels, back in the day, can you believe it, folks? There is 5,000 of each color. And that is hard to say how these 3 trucks have become harder to find than any World Finals truck, any weird variant of anything. And there's at least 15,000 of these floating around. Why did this happen? Well, I'll tell you from personal experience, before I say why, how come, because nobody really knows. But when these all hit the forums, people were going semi-crazy. I don't think anybody predicted the rareability of these trucks, how they would become what they are for whatever reason. The Kevin Soulages, I remember very distinctively. I mean, gosh, I was such a kid. Mommy wouldn't let me go out and invest in stuff like that. But luckily, they're for the few Canadian collectors that were willing to go out there and make their kids wear only West 49 clothes for the next year.
Used clothes.
Their lifetime. They went out there and got sets. And I remember Kevin Soulages getting a set from a member called Oxford. I don't remember who Oxford was. And Kevin had those for a long time. I actually held them once. The same ones that were all in the same line. So I'm very familiar with those ones in the picture. That's why I was very like, you can't open those. Gosh darn. He offered them to me many moons ago. I was like, dude, no, there is no way I'm going to be able to pay price on anything like that. So, no, that had nothing to do with me. But it's kind of weird to realize, again, if knowing what I just said, that there's at least 15,000 of these. And they are so hard to find. They're harder to find than a 1 of 1,000 employee gravedigger, 1 of 1,000 World Finals 10 truck. It's hard to find. Where did these all go? We got to remember, this was a promotion. Anybody that went in there and bought used clothes for $20 got a truck. So there could have been some parent in there just shopping for little Timmy, back to school sale, and they got this toy. Here, Timmy, they gave me a toy. Little Timmy threw it out the window, hit it with a hammer, went down with this free toy he got for buying clothes from the store. There is that was always the belief. There's some sandboxes out there that got these trucks stuck in them. If you go to Canada now, as years gone on, the Canadian collectors know it's up. These are rare out here anywhere, even in package, because again, the amount of people that went into the store got these unknowingly and just ripped them open by the time they got to the car. And even then, like I know somebody said they found it in Value Village out there in Canada in a black bag. Yeah, places like that. Like I know here in the U.S. we have Goodwill, like Savers and the Salvation Army. You're going to want to check places like that all the time because unsuspectingly these things can just pop up because little Timmy kept it in his drawer for 12 years. Little Timmy's now married. He don't need the toy no more. He gave it to Goodwill, not knowing that that truck can pay for little Timmy Jr.'s college fund. I mean, it's that's kind of where they all went. Or some of them could have been just thrown away because little Timmy's beat them up. That's the rarity. And again, they were not for sale. You had to buy the kids' clothing. They did not want your money. They're like, you don't understand. I'll buy a cake. Nope. Sorry, guys. So it's a crazy story to think this shouldn't have happened.
Before RJ,
I mean, I don't have much on it because I didn't have the money to buy them and I didn't ever have them. So I mean, it's good. Keep going.
Well, I was just gonna really put the emphasis on the fact that they are never found in packaging. Any of them that you see recently are out of the box, and most of the time they're chipped up. So for them to be in a box and for that box to be as mint as these were, that's precisely why I was like, please, Brian, cut me this deal, because I don't want to make the revenue back from YouTube by opening these and making a whole scene. So thankfully, Brian took them. They're in a great place. Well, now they're probably going to return to their original place. So again, cycle of collecting. But yeah, these in the card are obviously they're hard enough for Brian Patton himself to not have a set at the time for a long time. So that can tell you how hard they are to find on card.
Well, even on card, they get beat up over time. I think Jason Twite had a pair, and I think like 1 or 2 of his look like they got ran over by a truck. Like in his were in package, his got all chewed up. I don't remember what happened to his, but like little things like that, man. How many survived a package, and then how many survived moves, or have, like, a flood in the house if like your kid did go up on the shelf and grabbed it and ripped it open. A lot of crazy tales, and to think that 15,000 guys, 15,000. That's more than any World Finals truck. Any of these exclusives you're buying right now from Spin Master, and these are harder to find.
Yeah. I also mentioned I had really weird renderings, or at least the green one was like a weird green. And it says down there, not an actual truck on the current Monster Jam circuit. So they're kind of like really saying this is not real. I do have a 30-second clip, which is really funny. So here you go. This is the commercial for them. So we'll enjoy that real quick. It's so cringy too now, watch, because they do something with the truck.
You can get one of 3 limited edition Hot Wheel monster trucks free with any you purchase of $20 or more right now at West 49.
So, oh boy.
Maybe it wasn't used clothing. Now that like I see that, because like I don't know if they were into used clothes.
Oh no!
But man,
the fact that Sammy put it in his plate, and the majority of them probably ended up in a kid's plate.
Yes, that's cringe, but that's exactly what happened to these toys.
Yeah,
and that's why they're rare.
Where is
Sammy
that?
took it home and ran it through the teeth.
Sorry. There's that shot of all 3. I don't see any prototype codes on these. They probably are final. The lighting and the filter they're using on the camera makes them look different than the final products, but I'm pretty sure these are final products. They also, oddly enough, use an RC body as like the advertisement with a weird rendering of it. So yeah, it was just funny.
What a world.
Let's see. With a minimum purchase of $20 of youth-sized clothing or pre-assembled complete skateboard while supplies last. So that's how you got them. Yeah, so that's the commercial. And that's Skatezoid's story and legend. I think we really went the distance there.
Yeah, the legend shall continue. Maybe one day there will be a Max Exodus, a Little Timmy's that are going to give these up. But
yeah, so I also want to mention we've had Tanny and Root on a couple times. He actually has a lot in the package, which is crazy.
Those came from Todd Lina, the master of when he got the Lina collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, it's one of these. I think it's
probably that first one, right?
Yeah, I think this is the card back of Skatezoid. So for those wondering if I like the cool rendering, like the modern day Superstore trucks, no, it was normal card back of Case A.
What I will say, since you're down at those card backs, let's talk about those real quick. So for first one in 2009, the card backs were what were in each new truck in each case, which was really cool. It's like to know what you have to get. So that's why like there's that one Mix H is just Martial Law, Jurassic Attack, and the Air Force Afterburner. So that was a nice touch. And that's something that they would do till, gosh, like the end of time pretty much, right?
Still going.
Even till now. They still do it now.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're getting those official, like, this is what's in this case for you. Instead of those weird, like...
Spin Master does this.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels still does this. Green Light does it.
Kind of-ish. Like, they do that one big one on the online version.
Well, they do the list on the back.
They do the list, yeah.
That series. So...
We're just going to go through them real quick, because we already covered them all. I'm not going to talk.
Yeah, no, there's no need to go through them all. Okay. I mean, they're on the Brian Z. Patton website. Yeah. So if you're really that pressed to know what came in what case. So...
All right, so next up is another playset with that same Gravedigger that I talk about, how you find it usually chipped up to death because it was a playset exclusive. So there it is again. This is the new Blaze Crash action playset. Launch your Monster Jam truck through fire. So it was basically that. You aim and launch it. That's it. So there's that.
But that was that the first? Because some of these have a special Gravediggers. Is that one special?
That's
kind of.
All right. Yeah.
Also, I just want to note that the hooks here with the gray on the logo, like it actually has, that was a prototype here. So we're going to go with gray, but they went with orange.
Yellow's brighter, or that zit color.
Oh, look, Brian has his own packaging for that Gravedigger.
Yeah, Brian made custom packagings for these, so don't get alarmed if you see that and you're confused.
Yeah, it's not official. And next up was the Crash Cage action playset. So there's just like weird playsets at this time in this point. So it's like this thing that you can launch them towards, and it's motorized, so it's that spinning. I think this before, or maybe that's now.
I had one. It spun around. You put batteries in it, and it would spin one way and then back the other way. Yeah,
okay.
I remember that. Had like a fence on it and whatnot.
So this comes with what we call the. Oh no, it's not. Wait, is it? Let me see the roof. Oh, never mind. There's gonna be another playset that comes with like the Digger's Dungeon Gravedigger. This is it's a normal Gravedigger that we saw this year with that new update, Neil Vandenberg art style, but it's with that Hot Wheels classic playset variation base, which is the gray and gray rims. So it's actually a really cool looking Gravedigger, honestly. It has no headlights, of course, same body as they're using in the singles, but this is a rare variation of a playset, so that's cool. So there's that Crash Cage motorized playset. And then we have two versions of the most useful Hot Wheels playset of all time. And this gave birth to like the community that we know now, the younger one especially. So if we see here, this is called the Show Off Showdown Action playset. And it was used and was the birthplace of what the community came to call Sign Up Series. And that was actually created by Adam, WW5155, who's still around. And it's basically just like you sign up for a truck in the comments and we're going to race them next episode. And there's been different variations of the name, but every single, well, for the most part, every single person uses this playset for that until recently when they had that 6-lane raceway Hot Wheels thing or the 4-way or 4-lane raceway, whatever it's called. And then they have the new Transforming Hauler by Spin Master. But up until that point, like those modern day times, and still, this is the preferred playset. And it's going to become like the most popular playset of all time from Hot Wheels. Unfortunately, I know there are a lot of cool ones in the past. This will become the most popular one, and most used one, and most released one as well. So this Gravedigger right there is the Digger's Dungeon Gravedigger because at the time, I don't think it has any more. They changed it, I believe. The roof panel at the Digger's Dungeon, the display Gravedigger had the Grim. It was in a different position. It was facing the down, but it's the closest we get to having that like display Gravedigger, which is super cool. So this is a really rare one. So if you guys have this, congrats. You have a really rare well, not super rare, but like a rare variation of Gravedigger with the exclusive deco. They actually mark it as an exclusive deco, which they rarely do for playsets. So that's really nice. And yeah, so it's a cool playset. You race down the ramp, and you can also store your Monster Jam trucks on the side. So it also lets you know here that the hook series, if you take your hooks and you hook them onto the side, they actually work as storage. So they were useful in that sense. So they had a little more of a.
Well, I gotta stick that truck in my pocket again.
Yeah, so you know it's cool. It was a very cool playset. It still is one of the best ones. So a classic definitely for the community, especially the YouTube community. And I like that the hooks kind of went hand in hand with that. And then there's that truck to give it a better look. There's that roof panel with that Grim symbol or Grim character in Bad to the Bone, which you rarely, I don't think you ever see this text of Bad to the Bone style ever on a diecast. So it's on there too. So yeah, really, really cool. So there's Gravedigger. And I'll let Phil take it over as we look at the other version of the playset box.
Those playsets, you know, I never bought the playsets. That, I think this is Costco exclusive. I'm pretty sure. So. Yeah, so this is Costco exclusive. These playsets are pretty cool. This one's a crowd favorite for so many. I was just previewing my 2010 line on here and realizing that only two playsets come out in 2010. But by gosh, they are great playsets. So this one's just as cool. Hooks are still strange, but this still works for any toy today. And so both Hot Wheels and Spin Master need to like copy this.
Yeah. They've tried, but it's never been as successful and as like this is simple and it's exactly what people want. You know, Spin Master did with the Transforming Hauler, which was cool, and Hot Wheels did their downhill thing, which was cool. But we just want one that goes straight down, and that's it. You know, it doesn't have to go under like this. The Hot Wheels one goes down or drops the loser truck, or the Spin Master one flies in the air. I think just straight downhill racing is the most classic you can get, and they sell very well. Obviously enough for Mattel to do them so many times over. And our last, well, never mind. I was going to say our last discussion tonight. Our next big discussion would be these new trucks. So the Easter Beast, very well-known special series as well, done 2 years in a row for Target only.
Wrong. Walmart.
Oh, Walmart, really? Yeah. Oh, what was Target? Target got something.
Target had that toolbox.
Never mind. I had no idea those were Walmart. Actually, I never knew that at all during my collecting career. That's crazy. So Walmart giving its first special release series, which it will continue to do for the rest of time. So you can see this crazy new packaging, an egg kind of shape-ish, with these horns all over the place. I'm surprised card collectors don't complain about these as much as Spin Master packaging, because it's even worse with all these things. But you can see Easter Beast. Basically, they took pastel colors and gave them to the rims and just said, here's an Easter Beast. They also all had, I believe all of them had the gray chassis. Nothing new on deco-wise, so they're all just rim variations and chassis variations, but very classic series. So you can see there's 10 of them. This is number 7 of 10, Blue Thunder. I don't know, should we stop and talk about them, or should we just go through?
You just throw them on Screem and we'll name them off. So we have Blue Thunder. These aren't numbered, by the way. So it was Blue Thunder, Bounty Hunter, Bulldozer, Captain's Curse, El Toro Loco, Gravedigger, King Crunch, Maximum Destruction, the Red Maximum Destruction, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Pretty much a classic assortment there. You can't really interchange a couple of these. They just kept the sponsor ones really out of it. But, man, nobody knew these things were coming. I remember when these hit shelves, really excited for them. These sold well. It was pretty hard to get the full set. Everybody wanted all 10. It wasn't like I just pick and choose. Everybody wanted all 10. I know next year in 2010, we'll talk about those Easter Beasts more in those episodes, because there's one very specific one that has a much bigger meaning. But these are cool. Again, these are so simple, but everybody wanted them, and the card was so different. This was such a good idea. And Easter was a holiday too. I know Mattel focuses on a lot, but it's not like they didn't do this for Christmas. All right, we didn't get the snow trucks for a little bit. We didn't get no Halloween like Easter. We got Easter, so that was always cool. Yeah, but no, these were Walmart. They had these on end caps, like purple end caps.
That's really cool.
Yeah, these were rad. RJ, did you have all these?
Oh, I'd have to dig through containers. I might have. I feel like I did. If I didn't, I didn't have Captain's Curse maybe, because it looked a little different. And then the next year, my Walmart put these on the Easter aisle, which really screwed me up. Yeah, it was great. I was like,
bounced around some of the different areas. Like, that's why I was like, oh, if you don't go to the Easter, go to the home and garden. Oh, I found mine by like the fruit snacks. Like, got a little kind of weird, but next year's Easter Beasts, I'll just tell you, they're not as good as these. There are some glaring issues, and there's a reason why the Easter Beasts were done after that point. Although tinfoil hat, I think there might be some more Easter trucks coming from Hot Wheels, like, pretty soon. Okay, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that from me. Okay, I just wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But
you didn't hear that from me either, but I know they are.
But yeah, so the return of. But these are the OG 10. These are rad. Yeah, that's it. I'm just talking to myself at that point.
Okay, so next up, just to run through them again quickly. This is Captain's Curse, new hauler for this set. Last year we had them as well, but not Captain's Curse. So, super cool. I love like the metallic finish they gave the plastic on this one, and they also, the truck's rendering always has the coins in the tailgate, or the
pirate's booty.
Yeah, so that makes me a little nervous for when Spin Master, or if Spin Master ever does the Willie's body, if they do the Earthshaker and put the gold in the back.
That'd be so cool. They should do that.
Okay, well, if you think it's cool, I don't know. I feel like people get mad. But El Toro Loco, same color for the plastic. A new, I think, one as well for this. Gravedigger.
This isn't the new Digger, is it?
It is.
The new the other one, the Semi was
okay.
Different.
This one's not new though. I don't think. Hot Wheels.
No, it's not new with. Oh no, it is.
It is. Oh,
hey, for less than what, 2007? Did they do these in 2007?
It's 8.
No, 8.
Yeah, that's new too. Okay, I thought one of those was a rerun. I guess not.
Hot Wheels was. Oh, whatever.
I thought so too. No, maybe. Okay. Well, these do get reran, but
yeah, of course.
All right, so let's run through these double packs. We've talked about them so many episodes.
This last episode we had a big mishap over this green thing.
Yeah, we still no green, fellas, but we're still looking for that 08 one. But I'll read them off like I always do. Fan favorites number 1. It's Captain's Curse, Hot Wheels, and Gravedigger. The guy doing these fast guys, there's nothing to talk about with these. These are like literally the same assortments from like the 3rd year in a row. Yeah. Fan favorites number 2, Batman, Monster Dalmatian, and Screaming Demon. Fan favorites number 3 is Suzuki Annihilator, which is actually pretty funny because you don't get a regular Annihilator in a single card, and you get that martial law, so that's kind of fun. And El Toro Loco. Do Tor favorites. Well, the Tor favorites is that silver Grim Gravedigger that just keeps sticking around. Bounty Hunter is here again. The old Virginia Giant, they didn't change that one to yellow for some reason. And then Airborne Ranger, its only appearance. Tor favorites number 2, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Destroyer, Reptoid, Romy appearance for Reptoid in 2009, and Hot Wheels. We don't get a regular Hot Wheels truck in 2009. No. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Tor favorite number 3, it's that Red Max D again. Annihilator is back again here. Screaming Demon and Peg Warmer Scarlet Bandit, not that weird Astro one. Only 2 more things here to talk about. We talk about other Easter stuff. This is the second Easter collection one for Target. The first one was the Easter Bucket Bash Kit, I think they called it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's what this is called. Excuse me.
Yeah, this is the Bash Kit. So this one, unlike the previous Easter or whatever it was, this actually has rare variations in it. I remember, and I'm so upset that I didn't do it at the time because it cost me a lot of money in the future. I saw this at Target. I was like, oh, there's nothing new about these. And then years later, I'm like, oh my gosh, that has gray rims and a gray chassis. That has a gray chassis. That has a gray chassis. And that has gray rims and a gray chassis. So these were very hard to hunt down individually, and then eventually I found one of these for $30 on eBay, and I bought it, and I unboxed them all, and I sold off the ones that I had already picked up from eBay. But yeah, these are hard to come by. So if you're a variation collector and you're looking to get to a full collection at some point, this is one of the major stepping stones you're going to have to get past, or milestones, I should really say, as it was for me. The Bash Kit was not fun at all. Because
I remember when these came out too. I bought them because of the gray rim or that gray rim special, guys. This one was for the collectors. And I know collectors stocked up on these just to hoard gray rims. So a lot of these got mutilated.
Well, justified. But yeah, these ones were tough. The reason why is because I try to get something as close to mint as possible. These are usually chipped up. Like the Suzuki, especially yellow paint. We talked about this in the past. Chips like very easily. There's no way to fix it. Suzuki, the one I actually found before I found the kit together, it was beat up like beyond. So for those variation collectors, this is one of those big milestones that you're going to have to get over. So like that's going to be a hard one, but it's possible. But I think I just helped Armando Castro get that El Toro Loco on eBay, and it was mint condition too, so that was pretty cool. But Suzuki is the most difficult one of the set. So with that said, we have one more thing. Sorry, did you want to add anything, RJ? It's not much to talk about with this.
No,
but.
I did.
Okay, cool. Last thing, something I helped Brian get when I saw it on eBay. He actually needed it. This is the weird All-Star Arena All-Stars Tour DVD pack with the single Gravedigger.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with this either. I feel like Toys R Us, but I don't even know if that's right.
It would have the Toys. I feel like it would have the Toys R Us symbol on it.
Well, true.
I don't know, because Toys R Us carried those weird. It was like a same set, but instead of a 164, it was a Speed Demon. Remember? Speed Demon? Yeah. We haven't talked about Speed Demons yet on here, but those were always in Toys R Us, so that's why I kind of associate with that Toys R Us. But this is a weird one for especially your in package folks. I mean, someone says Kmart maybe. Okay, so Kmart probably.
Yeah, I feel like I got Kmart. That's a good shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
These are just weird. Yeah, package people, this is hard to find. Normal people, you don't even have to worry about this. I think a lot of the content that's even on that DVD is probably on some other Monster Jam episode that they stole. So it's really a blink in the eye for any other person. But if you're trying to 100% everything, this one might leave you up at night.
There's a lot that'll leave you up at night. This is one of them, though. Yes. I'm glad it didn't have a variation, though. So glad, because it's not something you see every day. I saw it on eBay just going through for just my general, at the time I was collecting, trying to get everything. And I just saw it, I was like, I don't see this on Brian Patton. So I sent him the link and he bought it that same minute that I sent it to him. So that was cool. But ever since then, I've not seen it on eBay. So I don't know. I don't know where it came from. But there's that.
We're thinking maybe a Kmart, but hey, if somebody knows for 100%, maybe got a receipt or something, let us know. But,
so
that's 2009.
Yeah.
Again, we said we were going to do this in 2 halves. We really didn't have to. A lot more new than 2008, but again, when you sit down with it, a majority of the year is still re-releases. Now, folks, I am telling you, 2010 will be 2 parts. and we will talk a lot about what's going on in 2010 because 2010 changed the game. All right. We'll hype it up next week on part 1 for 2010. There's a lot of backstory. I know firsthand being in the trenches on a lot of that stuff that went down in 2010, that how much it meant to a lot of people. This 2009 was really a good prequel. The Air Force will live on in lore. That release was a big deal. Backwards Bob and Dragon's Breath are brand new trucks. They got calls here, but man, 2010 changed the game. Mm-hmm. For nostalgia purposes, I think it's the best line that anybody's ever done. I would definitely say Spin Master's first year takes a good swing at it too, but I'm not an active collector.
No, I say 2010 is still the best year for the diecast. Yeah, I can't say because I love the accessory for it. So
yeah, there's a lot of layers there, and it sets one way too high.
Yeah,
I also want to just say that this year brought some of the rarest stuff too. So 2009 is noted for its rarity. The 4 that you're seeing on the screen, plus all those Easter beasts and all the Easter Bash kit. And those playset variations, there's
even a dork truck like Shattered. Shattered ever again. Things like that. It's right before a big change in what we do. So
yeah,
I also that Avenger, that Light Green Avenger package is a big deal.
When I walked away, because I promised the viewers I'd show them earlier. Here's that zombie. So there's just a quick sign off for that red zombie there. Grab my set. So anyway, that's that. What would I
don't think there's anything else. I didn't see any pressing questions. We're not going to look for questions. I saw one guy said, "When did you start collecting?" I'll just late 2005-ish, 2006. Just say that real quick. But
mine was the original 4.
March.
I started in March.
Yeah.
I started with the original 4. So
March. Yeah, good stuff. RJ, we got to get you a bell, brother.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring it in here today, but I'll get it.
Ryan, I'm not gonna start the stream without you again.
I know Zoom has like the raise hand feature. We need that for RJ. Raise hand feature to click on. So
any canceled trucks? No. Like I said, that one mentioned Jurassic Attack tilt off was supposed to be a thing. It was replaced by Obsession. That logic doesn't make any sense, but that's 100% a fact. Don't know of anything else really crazy, and to be honest, folks, I don't think there's going to be anything like that further on. I'll still mention it, but
I did mention the Cadillac casting that was canceled and the Roger Dodger. Again, I don't know what years.
Yeah, that's old school stuff. We'll look back into that. That would have been around this time frame too.
Yeah, I thought probably this time frame with the Bone Shaker release. I think it might be when we get Riveted, which is like 2011. Yeah, so I think it was 2011 for those two. So we'll come back to it in the future. I don't know if I have the photos, but I saw them somewhere, so I'll look for them.
They're on Hot Wheels Dream Team page or
Yeah, that's where I think they're. I'll look there. With that said, we want to thank you all for watching, sticking with us for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Long one, but great stuff this year. But we're going to have a field day with next year on the podcast next week.
Get ready, folks. It's going to be. There might be part 1 might be just this long because we will talk about every truck like it's going out of style.
Yeah. March 1st is upon us. 19 days after midnight tonight. So March 1st, everything changes. So stay hyped up for that. And if you haven't joined our Facebook collecting group and you want to see sneak peeks, as like I do them every so often, join and follow them on Instagram. So thanks for watching, guys. We will see you guys next time. This is Phil, RJ, and Ryan signing out. Do the Donkey Kong face, Phil. Quick.